Andrew, listen. The moment we get into the ship, I promise you that we will be able to study this podcast cosmic rays and wave up close, and I assure you there will be no problem when we get up there.
You don't think we'll be too close to the podcast rays?
No!
They couldn't do any kind of strange science to our ship or even ourselves.
Look, I assure you that you, me, and whoever are going to be our two other guests that are not actually on this episode will absolutely have no problems getting belted with cosmic podcast rays. Now, let's get into the ship and cut to a couple hours later. Okay, so I'm all made of like mic wires.
And I'm an echo.
Dang. I guess this is the only way. I guess now the only thing we can do is record an episode of Nothing New.
New.
A remake podcast. Hello, I'm your host, Mr. Mike-tastic. Also, aka Justin Quizon.
And I'm the Echo, aka Andrew Linde.
There's a big one.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
Mm-hmm,
Not just of the subject matter and what we're talking about, but Andrew, let's just jump into this. This is a episode where there's a number in the title, but there's a bigger number that we should address probably right now. What episode are we on?
This is our 100th episode.
Son of a gun.
We did it.
We did it.
They said we couldn't do it. They said they won't keep making remakes for that long.
Oh, bucko.
Yeah.
You have not been watching nearly as much as us. 100 episodes. That's wild, right?
It is really wild.
It kind of snuck up on us.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing the show since 2017. I just to give a little bit of a backstory to the folks. I had a small idea about I thought about doing this because the genesis came from a weekend of me watching back-to-back Footloose.
Footloose is good.
Footloose is good. And again, if you want to actually hear us talk about it,
we've never covered the Footloose remake, but we'd be game.
We'd be game.
We'd be down.
And it is, in fact, the weekend after I finished watching both Footloose movies, I was like, man, that was kind of fun because I watched them back to back, and I was kind of fun in my head, just thinking about what I liked about one versus the other. And since I enjoyed both, I was fascinated by the idea, this could be a podcast show. So I pitched it to you and Emily, and you really grabbed onto it. Went, whoa, I want that.
Yeah.
And that was in 2017. If you don't remember our first episode, it was on The Mummy and Tom Cruise Mummy.
Yes, that was a Universal remake. That was the start of the Dark Universe.
We started rough.
Yeah.
We started rough. But here we are, 100 episodes later, a bunch of great guests. We've done Comic-Cons. We've done Comic-Con. We've done San Diego Comic-Con with moderation and panels. We've done LA History Museum. I don't know, Andrew. What are your thoughts on after starting this since 2017?
It's funny to think about. I think the early days we were not sure about what to cover, so we were covering a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
Which Sofia Coppola's The Beguiled.
Right, that's right.
That was I think that was episode 2. It was just yeah, this is a remake. Well, let's cover it. And it's kind of nobody cared, but we were like, this is cool that it's a remake.
Right.
Oddly enough, we did a Planet of the Apes episode, but it was on war for the planet
conquest.
And I think battle.
Because
war
right,
and battle.
You're right, it was battle.
Which didn't connect at all. And it's very funny because we've never gone back and done Tim Burton's Planet with the original Planet. So that was our only time.
Right.
Was touching it was weird sequels that weren't actually remakes of each other.
They barely had a connection.
But I think it was just we knew that was bigger.
Right.
So, but since then it's just look, honestly, Disney's been helping us out. They've been giving us a remake about every month or two.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it started with one and then it was 3 a year.
Yeah.
Now it's every month. You can't get away from it.
This is a tidal wave, including not limited to this episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Disney owns Marvel, so sure.
And also, like, we did this through a pandemic. You know, we were recording
We were doing
the
it
show
over Discord.
First time we really jumped into kind of doing it remotely, and part of, truth be told, it kept my sanity during that really rough first year of dealing with COVID. So I know you can hear a literal history happening as we're discussing remakes and the original films. But Andrew, thank you again. I just want to say thank you again for jumping in on this and doing the work you do editing and producing. And these are literally your equipment and such.
Look, and I've done I wouldn't say many, but I've done several podcasts.
Yes, you have.
I'll say.
Yes, you have.
And I think that this, not in episodes, but in years, this is the longest running one. I did another podcast that we did 300 episodes, and that was
That's right.
That was a weekly. That was sometimes 2 times a week. Super Mario Brothers minute, however many minutes that ended up being. That was like 100 and something. But yeah, this is this is my longest running, and I think people think of podcasts, they don't run that long. Well, we're gonna run. We're gonna run as long as we can.
Apparently, because they won't stop remaking movies.
Yeah, we gotta meet up and find what's going on here.
Yeah, there are periods we went, whoa, we gotta slow down and pick one. We can't do 2 in a month at the moment. Yeah, but no,
and we've had some tough choices over the
yeah.
sometimes where we had to pick one thing over another.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We can only we cover what we cover.
Yeah. And
I think it's only getting better.
Yeah,
that's the exciting part.
I agree. I hope you guys too, who are listening to us and our Patreon supporters. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead now to the main episode. Now this is a big one in regards of also subject matter. We've done something like this back in 2020 where we covered 4 versions and one on Patreon. And we figured, that was, of course, the A Star Is Born episode. And that made a lot of sense because there were 4 very unique takes on that movie.
Yeah.
They almost come off as a history lesson in American movies.
Yeah.
Here is a very interesting set of movies that is, I don't even know how to describe it, is one of those things where it seems like if they weren't going to get it right by the 4th time, will they ever get it right? Or will it ever come out properly by the 4th time? Will it ever be actually, will it ever reach the potential that it could be? Based on not just a Marvel comic book, but I would argue as a comic book fan and historian, the reason we have Marvel comics. The Fantastic Four, created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Now, normally we in the episode we ask, what was the first time you saw the original? I'm curious, Andrew, when was the first time you heard of the characters of the Fantastic Four?
Ooh, that's interesting. Probably one of the cartoon versions, because it's definitely wasn't. Didn't Johnny Storm show up in one of the Spider-Man animated cartoons from like
Probably.
the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, 90s, I think.
That's probably where I first heard about it. And then I remember, this is so bizarre. There was, for some reason, in the Sunday newspaper. Do you remember these things called newspapers?
Oh, I'm aware of them. They're like paper.
Yeah.
There's like information, but on paper, yes.
This was so long ago, but it was like, I don't know, 20 years ago. There was, for some reason, in a Sunday edition of whatever our local paper that my parents got, they included a miniature version of, like, it was a Spider-Man Fantastic Four comic. And it was like Spider-Man, what was it? He was like breaking into the Baxter building, but he was actually chasing after a villain. So then the Fantastic Four got mad at him. You know, it was one of the classic Marvel setups of we have to get the two heroes fighting because of some third thing going on.
Right.
But I remember that. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, it was like a weird miniature comic. It wasn't the size of a comic book. It was like smaller and like in a plastic sleeve inside of the newspaper. I don't know why they did that. I don't know what Stan Lee paid to make that happen. It was some anniversary or something. I don't know, but I was like, oh, so that was that. Those would be kind of my two earliest memories of Fantastic Four and how I learned about the team, because I didn't really read the comics of Fantastic Four. I think some of the earliest comics I read were like the Spider-Man Ultimate series.
Sure. Okay.
But and like random stuff before that. But that was the first one that I remember being like, I got to read all of this. And I know they showed up in other things, but yeah, I don't think I ever really read pure Fantastic Four. But yeah, how about you?
So I got into comics really, really young. My cousin was a collector, and so my first street comic books I'll never forget are first comic I ever bought was an Incredible Hulk comic book. Second comic I ever bought was an Amazing Spider-Man comic book, and the third comic book I ever bought was a Fantastic Four comic book. And the funny thing is, with Spider-Man and Fantastic Four, both books sold on the fact that there was like a guest star, right? So in the Spider-Man comic, it was interesting. I remember, take it back, it was Web of Spider-Man. That was the actual title. And it was like a horrible winter storm, but what was kind of neat about the comic, it was like the Avengers were there to help out New York and such. In the Fantastic Four comic book, Spider-Man was the guest star. So again, kind of a similar connection, except this time it's like Johnny was kind of, it's a Johnny Storm-centric issue where he's like kind of down on his luck, and Spider-Man's there to kind of like tease him, but also get him out of his funk. It was kind of a fun issue. But yeah, Fantastic Four was a very early comic book purchase for me. And then on top of that, they used to do like reprints of issue 1s of the Marvel comics. So I remember buying the reprint of the Fantastic Four issue 1 to kind of learn the origin and see where they started. And of course, you know, as I pointed out, for historical context, Marvel was timely at the time. They were struggling against DC. Justice League was kicking their butt. They were sort of not doing superhero books at the time, and they decided, you know, one day they found that the Justice League numbers were really killing them, and they're like, okay, fine, we need a team book. So they contacted Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Stan Lee always said in his history that he was maybe like a year or so from quitting comic books. It's like it wasn't working out, and he wanted to write the great American novel. Jack,
don't we all?
Yeah. Kirby at the time was still busy drawing giant monster books, romance novels, and romance comics. So he was just a fountain of ideas. So basically they collaborated together and decided, let's do a comic book that kind of combines all our interests, the stuff we both like, and also is still reflective of the time. So that's why the Fantastic Four has superhero stuff, but hard sci-fi stuff, but also monster stuff. Because like we were coming from the 60s where there was, 50, 60 sci-fi films are atomic age, destroy, Godzilla and giant ants, etc. So the comic was a reflection of what was kind of popular at the time, but it's also reflected their interest. But still a superhero book, which was their way of battling JLA. And the book blew up, and that book started what became known as the Marvel Age, and which led to Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America coming back, their Avengers, Iron Man, etc. It all birthed what, now we have the now known Marvel series. And I can't help but, I bring all that up because like them getting to the big screen is always like the challenge. And as we're going to go through, yes, we will be going through Fantastic Four 1994.
Fantastic Four 2005.
Fan Four Stick 2015.
And the Fantastic Four First Steps 2025.
We are doing them. We are doing every first movie. It's, in some cases, only movie.
In most cases.
Most cases, yeah. Okay. We're just gonna jump right into it. Now, in order for this to not be a 4-hour long episode, we're gonna time. So this we're gonna have a 30-minute coming to Galactus warning. So with this each segment, we're only gonna talk about it for 30 minutes per film. And so once we are agreeing, I'm gonna start the timer and we're ready to roll.
Yeah, let's do it.
Timer starts.
Okay, so the thing about the 94 movie.
Yes.
First of all, I mean, in a sense, it kind of doesn't exist, right?
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, it was not really released. And so calling it a 94 film is kind of funny because I think it would.
There's no real official year. It came out.
And it kind of got pushed, quote unquote, to 95, but it never actually came about. And so many people, like the people that worked on it, the people that. Here's the other thing, because this film doesn't exist in that sense. Yeah, you can find it online pretty easily. Yeah. But the other funny thing is there is also available just on YouTube is a documentary called Doomed that tells this backstory of why this film never came out.
Yeah.
And the work that the people put into it and what they thought of what they did. So I think this is one of those where I think even some people are like, well, you can't even count this.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, it didn't actually come out. We're counting it. It's counting.
Here's the thing, and again, I highly recommend watching that doc. It's a fascinating watch. It's free.
Yeah.
So is this one technically, officially. But one of the things I'm going to quote like Joseph Culp, who plays Dr. Doom. The irony of this being the movie you should never see, but it got leaked, is that ironically more people have seen it because of the infamy. Yeah. So there are actually more eyes on this movie than maybe even the Captain America movie we covered back when we were covering Captain America and Captain America First Avenger. So ironically, I think more people might have seen this one because we're technically supposed to people love not watching things they're not supposed to watch. And this is a movie where, I could go on about the actual history, but we only have 27 minutes now, and we should probably talk about the actual. But I really recommend watching Doomed. It's a real fascinating thing. But one thing I do want to add to that, just to kind of hold on, because it's a occurring production issue, is that anytime it seems this starts a series of times where people wanting to make a Fantastic Four movie, and the only reason they get around to pulling the trigger on it is because they're running out of time with the license.
Yeah.
And the fact that happened more than once is really sad.
It's weird too.
It's super weird.
It's just bizarre. I think what I really enjoyed from watching Doomed, just to wrap on Doomed, is they do have footage of Stan Lee at San Diego Comic-Con in, I don't even know what room, has to be the smallest room.
I've never seen that room in my life.
He's like literally at a table with chairs in front of him. Like it's so small. And he says, oh yeah, there's a Fantastic Four movie coming. He's like, but don't worry about it. Like he really tells the audience like, that's not the real version. He's like, the real version's coming. We got the rights back. Like he says it in such a way where it's like, oh, even like they don't want to promote it. Like it's so bizarre that even the guy who made it, the guy who would profit who would really benefit was just like, never mind.
Yeah.
We don't want that.
Right.
And then they don't make another one for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's not even, Marvel doesn't even do it. Marvel Tech, it's like,
it's not even
so wild to watch that happen and see everyone's reaction to it.
Right.
Every single person in the film, and they interview everyone, which is so cool.
Roger Corman, who's we haven't gotten to that point. Roger Corman is a producer of this film.
Yeah. This film is known as Roger Corman's Fantastic Four, but he just produced it.
He just produced it, and to give credit, the director is Oli Sasson. He's actually the director of the film. Roger Corman, look, they wanted to make this movie on a budget, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull that number out now, $1 million. To do the Fantastic Four. And dude, even in 1994 in standards, that's hella low.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the other thing I took from the doc, and this is where we might go into opinions, and I don't know where you feel about it. This is where the thing I can say from the doc, and as someone who's watched this movie a lot, because when you're a comic book fan, you fucking take any water in the desert. Same thing. I said the same thing about the Captain America movie we covered too. It was made by people who were trying and who seemed to understand the material, because that is for me. I'll go into my personal feelings. It is a rough movie. It is clearly a rough movie by its budget and visual effects standards. There are definitely script things that I kind of go, that's a choice.
Yeah.
But it also seems to know the Fantastic Four. It seems to know the tone. And it's kind of excellently, not excellently, I'm saying the wrong, I'll say it. It's fantastically cast. Because the four who they picked to be the FF are pretty good.
Okay, let's say the actors. Alex Hyde White is Reed Richards.
Yes.
Rebecca Staub,
I think Stab
is Sue. Jay Underwood is Johnny, and Michael Bailey Smith is the Thing, Ben Grimm. Well, I guess in this one you could really say he's Ben Grimm.
He is Ben Grimm
because they get a stuntman to play the Thing.
That's right.
Which he was apparently upset by, but look, come on.
Yeah, Ben Grimm. Michael Bailey. Yeah. Apparently, Michael Bailey really wanted to wear the suit, which I go, good on you, man. I respect that. Ron Perlman got to be Hellboy in costume, so fair enough.
The plot here is also different from all of the others.
100%.
Like, so incredible. I mean, they're all different in their own degrees, but this one is is the only one that does a time jump.
Yeah.
Where we go from Sue and Johnny are Sue's a teen, and Johnny is, I don't know, supposed to be 12. He's like young.
Yeah.
And then we do a 10-year time jump. So now Johnny's in his 20s and Sue's graduated college and whatever else. So these are like that already structurally alone that makes this movie stand out.
Yes.
And it allows them to do so much more before they get transformed.
Yes.
Which is another, I think, issue with these movies is so many of them, there's 4, so many of them want to rush to the transformation.
Yes.
Or they don't know what to do with them when they're not transformed.
Yes.
And this one has that balance, which is so...
It's so weird, right?
It's so weird.
It's so weird because oh my God. Okay, so...
Like, how did they... I guess the writer, it's like they figured it out.
No. God help me. Andrew. The pacing's actually strong.
Yeah.
Like this, again, not to go too much, but the beginning of the movie starts with Reed and Doom in college, which comic accuracy is correct. They met in college. And it's surprising that it doesn't take too long in college. We get enough information about who they are and their relationship.
Yeah.
We get their relationship with the Storm family. We get their relationship with Ben, where Ben ties in with Reed. And then we get the origin of Doom, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's nice, and it's tidy. It works.
And it, connects to the rest of the plot.
Yes!
Really? Yes! It's not just, random. It's like, oh, yeah, this all is part of the origin of everybody. What
the hell?
Yeah.
I was, kind of floored when I did this rewatch, and I'm like, because I thought, well, nostalgia is usually but when I'm rewatching, hold on a minute. That you're actually giving me the right amount of time.
And I think something that this movie does that the others don't, do as well, I'll say. Doom and Reed are like pals.
Yeah.
I think that's a fascinating relationship.
Yeah.
Where they are they are competing. They're both the smartest guy. But they're pals.
They're pals,
they care about each other to an extent. And so in this opening segment, when they're examining the Colossus comet, which will come back later.
Yeah. Not to be confused with the other Marvel character named Colossus.
Exactly. They're doing some laser experiment on it or whatever, and then it goes wrong.
Yeah.
And Doom is the one who pushes. He's like, we gotta stay. We gotta keep with the equipment. He gets injured from it.
Yeah.
And then they even give Ben the hero moment, saving him from being totally killed.
Right.
But then he's presumed it's like a fake death,
Mhm.
so that Latvarian goons can take him away.
Oh man, I can't wait to talk more about
Lot of goons.
What a goons.
A lot of goons, not just Latvarian goons,
Just like a lot of
just goons all around.
No, but you're totally right, and like it's
Fascinating.
it totally, but you're completely correct. Alex Hydewhite and Joseph Culp really did their best to play young, to play competitive, but also playful. I actually like. There's this bit of kind of like body language that Joseph Culp does in the beginning of the movie, where he's kind of holding his books and bag really close to his chest, as Reed's trying to explain to him maybe it may not work, and blah blah blah, and then he's trying to convince him, and then Joseph goes like, "Okay, we'll do the safety test," and I'm like, wow, look at that! Like you get the full spectrum of their relationship and the tragedy. Like I'm gonna say Alex is a fucking fantastic, pun intended, Reed. He's a great Reed. I loved what he does as Reed in this movie, especially like when he becomes superhero version Reed at the end. Yeah, weird. It's weird. But let's talk Latvarian. And real quick, Andrew, do you think they had a meeting on agreeing on the Latvarian accent?
Oh, no.
Right.
Absolutely not.
We have 3 accents going on between the 2 goons and Doom. There is one guy who I call a Dracula. You know. Blah. And then you have another one who's kind of Eastern European. And then you have Joseph, who's Victor Von Doom, who's sort of
British European, yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. You guys have a low budget. You had, but like you didn't at once go, whoa, all right, let's agree. What accent are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, are we doing his? Are we doing his? Are we doing it? I would argue if it's Doom, who's the main bad guy and their boss, I might argue you should focus it on Joseph's voice. But also, I can understand if you want to play with he's been living in America.
Right.
Okay, fine. But then you two need to be consistent. The goons need to be consistent. Oh, God.
I don't think, and then I just want to get ahead on this.
Please.
I really don't think any version of Doom is like perfect in these films.
No.
We're going to get to the other ones, but this is close.
This is close.
It's weird how close it is.
First off, costume's perfect.
Yeah.
Note perfect. Second, despite the fact that I sadly can't hear him half the time.
Yeah.
Those are Doom speeches.
Yeah.
Those are Doom bravado. Those are Doom lines. And he's doing Doom things. Yes, there are so many other problems with this movie. And yes, they are Doom related. But I agree. He is the closest.
Like that's the thing. We get the origin, whatever, however they want to do that. This movie does it in that way. Great. He fakes his death, whatever. Now he's in a castle and he's giving speeches and he has goons. Yeah. That's Doom to me.
Doom.
That's Dr. Doom.
That is 100% Dr. Doom.
If you're doing anything else, I'm like, who is that?
Yeah. No, exactly. No, 100%.
Yeah.
He's got his throne room that looks like should have belonged to Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that too much? No. That's Dr. Doom.
That's Dr. Doom.
It's Dr. Doom. Okay, so going into further, we do the time jump. Now we are...
And we also have to address the elephant in the room. It is... it can be a little awkward that the fact that
you want to talk about the Sue age difference?
The age difference.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Why? I remember watching it going, why that choice?
Yeah. She could have been an adult.
She could have been an adult. Why? What? Like
especially because the actors for Reed and Ben are the same.
Yeah.
They're just doing the little play young, a little makeup, whatever.
And then they add the smear of white on Reed. But it's bad. I'll say that's bad. You know? I agree. I don't understand. That was one of those.
I like it with Johnny.
Yeah, that's fine with Johnny. Maybe Johnny could have been a teenager.
Yeah. With Johnny, it's great because you get that in that opening. He's playing video games.
Yeah.
Which is like such a 90s shorthand for like,
kid.
That's a kid. He doesn't care about books. He likes video games. But then they tie it into the end. Even they can let him live out his video game.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, you show like it's on the nose stuff. I get it. But they show that Johnny's hot-headed. You know that when Reed enters the room, he doesn't see Sue. Get it?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I want to. And the thing has been grim, but
Well, and then it's Sue and Johnny's mom,
Yes.
or maybe some kind of foster mother situation. It's a home for
it's a
foster
home.
kids.
Yeah, I'm never quite clear on what that house situation is.
Exactly.
I'll be clear on that. I
Yeah.
don't understand. Is like they're college guys. They rent out a house in a foster home, or they said a boarding home. How does that work? I don't know. All right,
But the mom is the one that gives them their name
oh god,
before they even are adult. Before they're even in powered mode. It's
look,
look, there they are, my fantastic
Fantastic
four.
Four. I remember
So stupid.
I watched the first time I saw the movie. I watched it with a couple of friends because I bought the bootleg at Comic-Con,
Mhm.
as you should, FYI. We watched it together, and for about a year, one of us go, "Hey, there you are, the Fantastic Four." It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so
Like,
bad.
why? Oh well, she named him.
She named them. That's how they named
Yeah.
They do the origin as best as they can on $20, and
They put them all in chairs and shake the chairs.
They wore aluminum suits. Best they can do.
And then they crash in a desert. It's
Something.
like very
Like I don't know where they crashed.
Yeah.
But they crashed. So here again, but weirdly, pacing.
Hmm.
Every member of them gets to slowly be introduced to their abilities, right? Sue's freaked out. Reed's freaked out. Johnny, actually, like, there's this bit of business I like dialogue-wise where Johnny, like, is freaking out. Like, he's like, what happened to us? Like, he doesn't know, and it's scaring Johnny. It's one of the few times Johnny gets to be scared in any of these movies about their situation,
Mhm.
right? And then Ben doesn't have an immediate change. It lags.
Yeah.
Funny enough, that's a thing that's consistent. Put a pin on that.
Mhm.
But when he wakes up, then the change happens. And I actually really like, again, the classic element of a Ben and Reed relationship, especially in the beginning, is Reed feeling guilty for doing this to Ben, specifically Ben, because Ben can't have a normal life. Johnny can sort of have a normal life if he controls it. Sue can have a normal life if she controls it. He can have a normal life. Ben is stuck. And for the rest of Reed's life, he'll always feel guilty about that. And they really nail it. Alex really nails the performance of, just a silent performance of him realizing his fucked up situation and realizing he screwed up and realizing he did that to his best friend. It's, again, Alex is great. That leads into like a base situation, and this is where we get more like goofy stuff.
Yeah.
But kind of, we got 12 minutes, so we gotta jump
So let's talk about the jeweler.
We do have to talk about the jeweler.
This is I had made a chart.
Please. Ooh.
It's not a great chart, but one of the, so of course we have each of the films, and then I went down the line. We had Reed, Ben, Sue, Johnny, Doom, and then at the bottom I had a segment called Other Villains.
Okay.
Because there are other villains.
Yeah.
The jeweler is the one for this movie, and I put in parentheses Mole Man.
Yes.
Because it's kind of obvious, and then if you watch the Doom documentary, they talk about it was going to be the Mole Man.
Which would have made more sense.
Because that's another classic Fantastic Four villain.
Yes.
Very silly.
Very silly.
He's called the Mole Man. He has an underground kingdom called Subterranea. Like,
it's
kind of silly.
But also, like, and it's the thing where we'll put a pin on the Mole Man.
Oh, yeah. The Mole Man's, he's getting pinned.
He's getting pinned. Mole Man's also important for the comic because he was the very, very, very first villain they fought, issue 1. And it's not just underground people. There's also creatures, giant kaiju, etc.
Googam? Was that one of their guys?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mole Man is the jeweler is so obviously the Mole Man. And yes, you'll find out in the doc, but they basically just put it simply, they didn't have the rights, so they had to swap a name. Yeah. But he's another underground leader type thing. It's the budgeted version of the Mole Man. They don't have kaiju. It's one sewer set.
Yeah.
And his whole deal, he becomes obsessed with Alicia Masters.
Yeah.
Who's a sculptor.
There's two weird things going on. He's obsessed with the diamond, that's why their powers, they get powered and their ship crashes because he swapped their diamond for a fake one.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Dr. Doom also wanted to do that. But then the jeweler did it, and he goes back to his underground lair, and it's just like a lot of unhoused people are his
Yeah,
servants.
it just-
doesn't make a lot of sense.
And also, it doesn't really add up to much.
No, it's kind of like they could have just cut him
We
out.
could have cut him out.
But Andy feels
Plays
like
the
a caricature, like a racist caricature at times,
Yeah.
because he's like a little person,
Yeah.
and it feels like a leprechaun thing.
Yeah,
If you really look at his costume, it doesn't. I can't say anything good about the jeweler. That's the one part of this movie that I'm like, God, that sucked.
It raises so many flags.
Yeah.
On top of it sucking.
Yeah.
It's red flags, and he's a shitty version of the Mole Man.
And then he has his goons go and kidnap Alicia Masters. So Alicia Masters, she's a known character.
Yes.
Falls in love with Ben.
I want to point something out. There's a solid scene in this movie, and it's big. It's a bit overdramatic, but I actually think it's better than some other stuff with the character. Really quick, Alicia bumps into Ben quite literally in the beginning of the movie. She's blind, and it's a weird scene to do a romance, but I get what they're trying to do. And he touches Ben's face pre-thing. So what we find out is that after the explosion and the ship's missing, she was assigned to do a memorial statue.
Yeah.
So she gets, I guess they made casts of them in case something happens, of their faces while she's sculpting it, and she's identifying each person, and then she gets to Ben and realizes the guy that she sort of had a quick literal romantic bump into is one of the people. I'll actually say, you know what? As overdramatic it is, it's an interesting scene.
Sure.
I think it's at least it gives her it kind of acknowledges one, Alicia is a sculptor. That's one of her traits in the comics. Put a pin on that. And it kind of gives her kind of a sad little moment that kind of like adds some sort of emotional bits to the film. Like, oh, that's actually not too bad. It's a little over the top and it's very melodramatic, but I kind of like it, and especially for something that's like so broad.
Yeah.
Like it's more than what I got from a different iteration of this character.
Well, I think we also have to say it's incredibly corny.
It's very corny. Yes.
Just the idea of the character.
Yeah.
Where it's like, and the woman that falls in love with the ugly rock man is blind.
Yeah.
Only a blind woman can love this ugly rock man. Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Get out of here.
That's a very Stanley idea.
Yeah.
I feel
so...
it's very outdated.
Oh my God. It's like, come on.
I want to pull attention to the score.
Okay.
From David Wurst, Eric Wurst. I think the score is really strong. I really like it.
I'd have to revisit.
It
didn't offend me. I went along with the movie just fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the score is good though.
Okay.
I really like the score. I think it's I heard. Yeah, I think they kind of understood what they were going for. They understood the kind of the tone it is, and it's a very good FF theme. I think they did a really, really good job for what little they had. And it kind of makes the movie feel a little bit bigger than it actually is at times. But let's not forget, $1 million budget. No matter how strong the score is, they can't hide certain things. Like, oh, I don't know, Doom's henchmen being a bunch of dudes in green hoodies and sunglasses. Let's talk effects.
Oh, yeah. They're not great.
Not great.
The best one is Ben.
Yeah.
The Thing. It's his like puppetry motorized speaking head. It's like, that was pretty cool actually.
No, you can tell that they were like, we have to make the thing work. And I agree. He looks great. He looks like in the era post TMNT, Ninja Turtles the movie and etc. It's good. Because of the budget, Johnny doesn't become full Human Torch until the very end.
Right.
So he's just got to throw fireballs. Sue, thank God, has the greatest low-budget visual effects of all time.
She's just not there.
She's not there.
And then when they do a half invisibility, so they just key out the bottom of the screen or whatever.
Feather the just half of her. Yeah. It's like, mwah, bless the fact that she has probably one of the easiest visual effects.
And then, of course, Reed, all you have to do is, just from off screen, you have a hand come in.
You paint a broomstick blue. Reed is always going to be the hardest one to do. Because he's the one that's, in terms of drawing, easy. draw him like a rubber band man, make him stretch, make him flatten. But that is hard to do on a live actor. And they tried. They tried real hard. Sometimes it's just like a springy spring in a hand coming out of a limo to wave at people.
That was silly.
It's the last shot of the movie.
Yeah. I do. Okay. I know we're running out of time.
We got 5 minutes.
I want it. So Doom's plan, this movie, because there is something very confusing going on here. Doom wanted to steal the diamond. They had a special diamond so that when they went up in their spaceship, the four could travel. I don't know what it was going to do for them, but it was supposed to protect them because they didn't have it. That's how they got the powers when they crashed. Doom wanted to take that because he's mad at Reed because he thinks Reed ruined his life. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I want them dead.
Right.
But then the jeweler takes it. So then he's like, great. But then he's like, well, now I need to go get the diamond from the jeweler. Yeah. So he needed the diamond. The diamond had two purposes.
Yes.
Taking it would kill Reed.
Right.
And then he was going to use it to blow up New York.
Right.
Then at the end, he was like, wait, I can use this to take their powers.
Right.
Truly like the MacGuffin of MacGuffins.
It's like, it's so many MacGuffins.
Yeah.
It's like 4 MacGuffins in one.
Everybody wanted this MacGuffin.
Yeah.
This MacGuffin can do anything that you want it to do. The MacGuffin gave them their powers by not being there for them. Truly bizarre. Because I was following it and I was like, wait a goddamn second. Because when he got to the part where he's like, I'm going to blow up New York, I was like, what? Where did this come from?
You never brought that up before.
But yeah, so they save the day. Mm-hmm. And then Doom falls off a side of his castle.
Yeah.
But then they have like his little gauntlet
His little gauntlet kind of moves. They imply Doom ain't done yet.
Exactly, which is, of course.
Of course, for the sequel.
Yeah. And then, like you said, it ends with Sue and Reed getting married.
Yeah.
This is another funny thing that comes up in all these in some way, probably kind of, where it's like, well, they're a couple. And sometimes their marriage is the big thing. So,
right.
But it ends with them getting married.
Yeah.
And of course, as you do when you get married, you wear your superhero outfit. Unless you're the bride, then you wear a dress. Wait a second. Why were they all in their superhero outfits?
Which is like, I would say that's them trying to be accurate to the comic. So they did wear their except for Sue wore the wedding dress. But yes, it is like it is incredibly silly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. But for a comic called The Fantastic Four, and for a group of characters like this, I feel like you have to embrace some silly. And I feel like with 2 minutes left, I'll just go ahead and say it. I feel like this movie is better than it should be, but also is as bad as it can be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's plenty that's bad. That's just bad choices. Like, and again, watch Doomed. You'll see some of the actors going, why did we do it like that? But we had to do it like that.
And I don't think, they did what they could. Like, it's not
right.
It was at the time. That's what those kinds of movies look like.
Yeah. But I think they clearly put like their A game and did their best. I really think, again, like the cast was strong. I think they did some really, they were really well casted. I think Joseph Cope had fun as Doom. Mm-hmm. And when I could hear him, it was great. What he did. Well, he didn't even like that either, of course. And there was a real push on trying to make this work in a million, but you could sort of feel them go, we can squeeze the blood out of the stone. And they tried, and I give them literally A for effort, and execution as well, is what it is.
So obviously, because Stanley said so, they very quickly made another one. Oh wait. It took them 10 years.
Took them 10 years
to try again.
All right.
Let's get into the 2005 Fantastic Four.
All right. Now, start the timer again.
Start the timer again.
And go. 2005 Fantastic Four.
This is directed by Tim Story.
Yes.
I think we kind of like him in a sense, right?
In a sense. Kind of.
What is he? What is he? He did a Barbershop.
Barbershop.
I don't have a problem.
I
with
did not like the
Barbershop.
Taxi movie he did with.
Yeah.
Which is also hilarious here remake.
Oh, he did the 2019 Shaft. Oh, and we've talked. He did the Tom and Jerry.
Oh,
The Tom and Jerry, I call it. That's so.
Maybe
not.
Maybe I don't like Tim's story.
He seems like a nice guy, but
I'm sure he is. Yeah, but
you have to be making that many movies like
Right.
this.
So here's the thing to keep in mind with this Fantastic Four. This Fantastic Four film was made under Fox this time, but it's also a film in a world post X-Men.
Yeah.
This is a post X-Men movie.
Mm-hmm.
Post Spider-Man movie, but more importantly, post X-Men movie. This movie was trying to be more for that crowd.
Yeah.
Well.
Let's say the stars.
Let's say the stars. We do this time out as the Fantastic Four. We have Ian Gruffeld as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm, The Thing, and Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman.
And then we have Julian McMahon.
Who
as
sadly
Victor Von Doom. Yes,
who sadly passed
just
away
passed. Yeah,
just recently.
Really crazy.
Also, though, kind of a weird, fun. I was watching, going like, "Hey, that's Hamish Linklater."
Yes, as the
random
dopey assistant, the new goon,
but also Carrie fucking Washington.
Yeah,
as Alicia Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, you know how we talked about how the 1994 film, the previous film we just talked about, has a pretty strong, like, kind of pacing in the first act, allowing us to get to know the characters before they get into the big adventure. Well, forget all that.
Yeah, forget all that. This movie's so, like, it just goes.
Mm-hmm.
Reed and Ben, the way it's like Reed and Ben are going to Doom,
Mm-hmm.
who apparently they did know from college.
Yeah.
To get him to fund their exploration into space.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get there and Doom is the one who's dating Sue.
Yeah.
But Sue and Reed did have a thing before, so there's a little bit of tension here. And then they bring in Johnny as the pilot or another pilot or something.
Yeah.
And they have all of their connections are just very quickly. I do like the Johnny Ben connection here.
Yeah, sure.
Because Ben was Johnny's commanding officer.
Yeah.
When he was in the army,
Yeah.
which I'm like, that's kind of a better connection than like having those two characters. They are the comic relief. That's like, those are the two that we like having fun with.
One of the struggles I will say about every Fantastic Four update since the original comic book is, okay, Reed's the guy, is the smart one that came up with the mission. Ben's the pilot. Sue and Johnny are there.
I think the one that they hit with Sue is Sue's a woman. And
yeah.
They just move on, and it's like, wait, no.
In the comic,
give her a character.
In the comic, they're literally there because.
Yep.
So, which ironically is almost the answer in the 1994 films. Like, why are
why are they in the ship?
Literally, Ben asks, "Why are they there?" And Reed's trying to explain. Oh no, Reed's asking, "Why are we bringing them in?" And Ben's like, "Oh, they know the project better than anyone else." I guess. Are they trained in any form? Whatever. Here, they decided to make the answer is Sue's a scientist and Johnny's another pilot. Sure.
Yeah, they did the Armageddon logic where it's like, we got to get these miners onto an asteroid. Do they have any astronaut training? No! Is it easier to train astronauts as miners? Shut up! Bruce Willis is going to that asteroid!
So yeah, so in this movie, Sue and Reed's relationship is extremely, kind of angry at each other, ex-couple-y vibes. But yes, I agree with Johnny and Ben. Chiklis and Evans are fun.
So I had in my chart that I made.
Oh, please. Okay.
So I also did a little, what I did for each character for each film was kind of like the briefest, not even a sentence, just like a word or a phrase, something that describes their character. Because as we go through, we're going to see these characters change a lot.
Yeah.
So just to, so that I did do for the 94. The 94, what I said for Reed, he was remorseful. I think that was a big part of his character.
Yeah, I agree.
Ben was good-hearted. Sue, I'm sorry, I just wrote a child. Johnny, I wrote video games. Then I put also a child. Doom, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That was pretty much, and so that was my brief of each one. Now for the 05, for what we're getting into now. Here's what I wrote for Reed. Unlucky. That I think that about sums up Reed in this movie.
It's not wrong.
Ben, we'll get into it because I wrote ugly, and then I wrote lost wife. We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
Sue. Now look, we can fight. It's fine. I wrote opportunist. Because you really look at what she does in this movie, she's taken up every opportunity in ways that are like a little shady.
I'm not arguing that.
Johnny, I just wrote womanizer.
Correct.
Sorry, Chris Evans, but also you're welcome because now you got you Captain America, I think. And then Doom, I just wrote tech bro. So
can I pause on the tech bro thing?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I fucking hate it.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's like, oh yeah, Doom, he's a CEO.
We have a
what?
Why is he a CEO? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lay this out. I'm gonna say it's that right now. Dr. Doom is my favorite comic book villain of all time.
He's so fun.
He's so fun.
Why are they afraid of the castle?
I don't know.
Why are they afraid of Latveria?
Why?
Why are they afraid of the Doombots?
Why?
I don't get it.
He is a maniacal, egotistical ruler of a country who has a cool castle and robots that resemble him. Also, while we're at it, a sorcerer as well as a scientist.
That's like, again, one of the craziest things about him is that Dr. Doom we associate with technology because of the movies. But it's like, no. His thing is he was so smart and so like, I'm over technology. He's like, I've learned technology.
Yeah.
Give me magic.
Yes.
He's like, fuck technology. I want magic. He's like, yeah, I got robots running around. I don't care. Magic. I want to do spells.
Why are you all afraid of this character?
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
And the moment you made him like a CEO, I'm like, you already have that. His name is Norman Osborn.
Exactly.
Your Marvel already has that. Their DC's already got Luthor. Why do you need to make him a CEO? Why do I have to sit through another boardroom scene of guys who are unhappy with the CEO, Andrew?
I'm trying to think how they could have messed up Thanos in this same way. Because like Thanos has very iconic imagery and things that it's like if they made Thanos like a human, like it's like that's what I'm trying to say is that's how far this Doom is from actual comics Doom.
100%.
Like, it's just like if you made Thanos the purple alien who wants to snap away half of life into just a human with a nuke or something, it'd be like, oh yeah, it's Mr. Thanos. It's like, no, you messed that up.
You probably wouldn't even make him purple.
No, he'd have like one purple item.
Yeah, he had one purple. He wear a purple suit and maybe like a gold hat if we're lucky. And God. Like no,
and he'd like put on a regular glove to hit the button to blow everyone up or some shit. Yeah, but I'm trying to get across how far from our comics Doom and this Doom, and honestly, the next one is truly so far away from what it is. And it's like the blueprints are all there. Just like follow it. Follow the blueprint. Make him a mad ruler of a kingdom. He doesn't have to be a CEO. Reed would approach him the same way because he's a ruler of a kingdom. He probably has money. They didn't even have to do this.
It's
if they wanted the boardroom scene, they still could have had an advisor for him that is mad at him.
Yeah.
They could have had all that. Give me the castle. I need Doom in his castle. That's like literally all that I need in my life, and they won't give it to me.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
It really is.
Because it's like, especially in this movie came out in 2005. You know what our Fox movie came out that exact same year?
Oh, which one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh,
the origin of the guy you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys, Fox, you have the rights to both. Why are you afraid? Make him Doom.
Yeah.
Give me all the crap I just asked for. Why are you? And don't put him in the origin. Don't put him in the origin in the FF. Why is he on the ship?
Yeah. Why is he on the ship? That's it. I mean, they tie it all together. It's just a real.
It's a lazy attempt at trying to tie the main bad guy.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't really do much in the whole movie.
And I think there's also something that was thought of as a comic book idea where the hero and the villain would have the same origin.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're born from the same thing, but one goes good, one goes evil.
Yeah.
Or some form of that.
Sometimes,
where that's,
yeah.
I mean, that's kind of even going back to like an '89 Batman. It's like Joker meets Batman, Batman meets Joker. You know, it's a cycle kind of thing that had been going on when they do a comic adaptation for some reason, even though it's not in the comics itself. So I didn't like that either, because then Doom has powers and they're not even like, it's basically like Magneto, but stupider.
Right. And he's it's turning him metal, I guess. I don't know.
They don't bother to explain it. They're just like, space, science, whatever. And then that's the other, this pacing, so bad, because they go to Doom. Yeah. They're like, we want to do this thing. He's like, well, I don't know. Okay, only if I get to come along. And I bring my soon-to-be space wife, you know, whatever bullshit. They get to the, we don't even see them on the,
we don't even see them on
the launch. They're just suddenly on the space station. And I'm like, wait, what? I was like, how did we get here? Yeah. There's not even like a fun transition or anything. It's just like, okay, we're on the space station now. And I was like, what?
Why?
What?
Yeah.
And they try, you know, what is it? Like Ben's outside, right? He's the one outside. So it's like, he's getting hit worse by the rays. I think they're trying to use that to explain why he's a rock man instead of controlling his powers.
Right.
And then Doom was going to propose to Sue, which is like, again, I'm like, they're trying to build the love triangle, which is another, it was a big thing in these movies where it was like, oh, we need the hero and the villain to compete over the love interest.
Right.
We had that in Spider-Man 3 a little bit, you know, it's like, it was all in the air at the time.
Here's the thing, and it was Ben Grimm, but sorry.
Here's the thing. I'm pointing to a Ben Grimm toy.
That's true, you are. But one of my knocks on the film is Sue Storm. And look, I think there are, you know, you have an actress like Jessica Alba who I feel sometimes gets unfairly dragged through the mud, through the internet grossness of just culture, right? I get it. But also sometimes an actor just isn't right for the part, and sometimes the writing for the said actor isn't good, and sometimes it's both. Sue Storm is poorly written, and Jessica's wrong for the part. Yeah. She's too young. She's 24. And I think she's still a little green as an actor. Even though she had her own TV show for a couple of years and she's been acting for a while. Like, I think the character Sue needed somebody who has history, who has like a life that they spent makes more sense of her like a 30-year-old to play. I originally heard that Rachel McAdams at the time auditioned, and it might have probably been a better fit.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe, yeah.
But I think Jessica was just the wrong casting for it.
I think part of the problem there too is that the movie's too horny.
Yep.
Both Chris Evans and Jessica Alba wise,
right?
Which is they're supposed to be siblings.
Yeah.
Let's also. They never act like it, and I feel like they don't even have a scene where they look at each other. Well, I can't remember if that's in the first one or the second one, but there's definitely a scene where Chris Evans, he has a line where he's like disturbed by having seen his naked sister, because they do make them get naked multiple times.
I think it is in this first movie.
Yeah. Because when Sue turns invisible, her clothes don't. So she has to take off her clothes.
Yeah, do we need
But then she can't control her invisibility. So sometimes she comes back visible and she's standing there in her bra. Uh-oh. Bad. And then they also do the thing of, well, of course the woman's powers are connected to her emotions.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, can we not?
I was watching this movie with a friend, and he hasn't seen it all the way through. It's since it came out. And the one thing he kept saying, because this will lead into the next discussion that you said we'll talk about, is why does this movie hate women?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Ben Grimm.
Let's talk about Ben Grimm.
And his wife.
And his wife. Yeah, I don't know. like I said, I didn't read Fantastic Four comics really. I don't know. Is this ever a thing in the comics
No.
where Ben had a wife
No.
before who left him because he turned into the Thing?
No.
Okay, great. Cool. They just did that because they wanted to make her look bad, and they thought that would make us feel sympathy for Ben. I don't know.
I hated it.
It was so over the top and stupid.
It's stupid. It's bad. No, it's stupid. I hate it. And it doesn't really make a lot of logical or emotional sense.
It doesn't add anything.
Yeah. It doesn't add anything.
Yeah. Because I think we could feel bad for him being a rock man.
Right.
Without that.
This is the one element the movie mostly gets right. With out of is the fact that they sell the pathos of Ben a little bit better here. I think Chickless is decent. He's not my favorite one in this performance of this movie, or even in any of the FF movies, to be quite honest. But I can see why you cast him. But he does some. They do some decent Ben Grimm stuff in terms of like the sadness of Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
And they also include Alicia Masters once again. This time Ben meets her in a bar. Again, here's the thing. The reason I called attention to the other Alicia Masters scene, even as it's corny and cheesy as it is, at least it's a scene that bridges a reason for Alicia to be involved in the movie.
Right.
Here, Alicia has two scenes. She meets up with him at a bar, and then she shows up at the end. Now, if you've seen the director's cut, you will be aware of a scene where Ben meets up with Alicia at her studio.
Oh.
And she showcases the fact that she's a sculptor. And I kid you not, it's a pretty sensual scene where she uses like a duster from her sculpture to help clean out some of the dust on Ben's skin. And like some sort of like sexy music is playing while it's happening. I was like forgetting if that was in the theatrical cut or is in this extended version I saw. And in hindsight, I went, you probably should have put it back in there because you needed one more scene with Alicia. But also, I think that's hot.
You give the Thing the hottest scene? What the hell?
What the hell? And I'm not talking Johnny hot. You
know? Another deleted scene is the Wolverine scene.
Yes.
Where...
More or less.
For some reason, Reed and Sue are like on a date. They're having a walk. They're reminiscing, whatever it is. And Reed changes his face because he's a rubbery man.
Right.
To look like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Right.
And it's kind of like a reference to X-Men, but it's also like, hey, look at this sexy guy. Like, I'm as sexy as this guy. Like, that's kind of what's going on. It's because it is bizarre.
Right.
Because I think in the actual version, he just makes his jaw bigger. Like he's like a strong-jawed man. Yeah.
It's a cute joke, but I also feel like it's like a slight misunderstanding of his abilities. He's not a shapeshifter.
Yeah, I guess he could.
He could, but I don't think he could make himself look exactly like somebody else. I think he could, like put a pin on it. One version did this where he can shape his face to look like a different.
It's more of a plastic man ability than
it's fair.
Breaking down our stretchy men.
11 minutes. We got time.
I think we got plenty of time because I don't even know what else.
Well, okay, I'm gonna.
Where else do we go here?
Well, here's the thing, Ben Grimm is that the name. Let's talk about. I feel it's appropriate. We have to say where the name came from again. Oh. In this case of the Fantastic Four, it's a very lazy. The reporter said it.
Right.
It's so Sue's mom said it, and now in this version, it's just a name that the news called them. Yeah, it's all right. I will say in terms of the visual effects, just to be fair, they're fine. Yeah. 2005 CG. Actually, if I can give it an applause, I'm gonna say I like the Reed stuff. Okay. I like the stretchy stuff. I think they're fun. They're very comic booky.
Yeah.
They're they're not shy to make him a rubbery man.
Yeah.
Like he does the stuff that Reed does in the comics, like wrap Ben up to calm him down and shit like that.
Reaches across the room,
Right. Oh, can I talk about this actually? Tone. And the comedy. I remember when this movie came out, some of my friends liked it because they felt like, yeah, but I think they really nailed like that sitcom humor from the Fantastic Four. And I'm like, I never saw sitcom humor personally. I never viewed sitcom humor in the Fantastic Four. I just like humor should be there clearly, but I always viewed it as like more like more like Back to the Future humor. Like that's the kind of humor I saw like in this, like funny, but you don't have like I don't think it's funny that Reed stretches to grab a toilet paper roll. You know, I was never a big fan of that joke. As an example. Actually, and as the years going on, someone else asked me, what do you think is the better tone? And for a while I used to say like, oh, like a really good episode of Doctor Who. Where it's like imaginative, off-worldy, maybe science-based, you know, using your head first before you use your bronze, if you have to use your bronze. And you know, funny for sure, but also never forget, you know, lives are in danger and etc. You know, like for the longest time, I think if for Doctor Who fans, I wanted Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies to write the script because I felt like the combination of both guys would be really good. Especially because I know Russell T Davies is a massive Marvel fan. He literally ripped off Marvel stuff in his run on Doctor Who. So anyway,
there's nothing better to rip off.
Exactly. Anywho, besides all that, there's also something else I want to bring up too. It's the term, it's clobbering time.
Oh, sure.
Which we didn't bring up in the last movie. Ben just says it.
Yeah.
It's a thing he says. Because Ben Grimm says that. Here, it comes from an action figure.
Right.
And, like, I guess the toy developers put it in there? Yeah, I guess. So. I don't know why. And then,
well, because Johnny is, he's trying to be, like a capitalist corporate, like, superhero.
Yeah.
Like, he wants endorsements. He wants interviews. He's like, he likes that they name the team. He tries to name every person.
Yeah. Can I point something out else before I get into this clobbering time thing, since we're talking about that? I used to really praise Chris's performance, and I still kind of do. I think he does a good job with this, but I also feel like, I don't like Johnny.
Yeah.
I used to think he was entertaining, but now I'm watching him, kind of a jerk. Which Chris Evans used to specialize.
I think that was well cast. And then I really do think it's, he wouldn't have gotten Captain America without this.
Yeah, that was a profile.
I think every time we get these redeemed superhero people, and it's because they were in a bad one.
Yeah.
And it's because they were in a bad one that someone said, oh, I can see you in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Because they're in one now. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. You were in a bad one. Oh, we can see you in a superhero movie.
Yes.
Let's get you in ours.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's why it happened.
But going into this bit, the reason why I'm going to call attention to going back to the clobbering time thing. Yeah, it was a toy apparently, and like Ben thinks it's stupid. I don't understand the dramatic reason or the emotional reason that Ben will say it's clobbering time to Doom at the end, because there's no real build up to it.
Yeah, there's no connection.
It's just like he saw this toy, that's stupid, and then he goes, it's clobbering time. Why? I thought you hated that. Put a pin on that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when they have to fight Doom at the end.
Yes.
Doom becomes just a murderous psycho, essentially. Like he kills his doctor or whatever in that scene. It's like, okay, great.
And he's wearing a mask that was a gift. I don't. Right?
Yeah. What was that? What was that?
What kind of gift is that? Varia is a weird country.
Too bad we'll never learn about it. Ever. We'll just see the name every once in a while and be like, yeah, that's out there. Whatever. Who cares? Anyway. When they have to use all their powers to essentially freeze his metal and trap him within his own, like, what's happening to him. And then he just gets shipped back to Latveria.
Just like, wait, you like,
there's a human man in there.
Like, and also he kind of looked like he was committing like damage and putting people's lives in danger. You didn't want to lock him up?
No, we'll just send him back home. Whatever.
Send him back home. Put him in a trash.
There's got to be somebody there to pay attention to. No, apparently Latveria castles and the country's just empty.
Just his one small Hamish goon, just making sure the delivery gets sent back to Latveria.
Whatever.
4 minutes left. Appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I have much more. I think can we spend this time talking about Johnny's return to the MCU?
Yes.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
We didn't actually, it's not a thing that we're actually covering, but I want to talk about his
return
to weird
Deadpool and Wolverine
things.
appearance.
Yeah, the weird things that are happening, and because he's in this movie, this is the time I guess we could talk about it. In the lead up to the new Fantastic Four, there's the Deadpool and Wolverine movie where he appears as where Chris Evans comes back as Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
And they have the joke in the movie where Deadpool thinks he's Captain America.
Right.
But he's actually Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
So they're playing with this idea of, people playing multiple characters and how dumb that was a Fantastic Four and how he's in the movie, he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah. It's
so
very
it does
true.
follow.
100%.
But I think, that kind of, again, was priming audiences for like, okay, we're going to, hey, remember this? We're bringing it back. And
it's funny because I was at the famous Deadpool Wolverine Hall H screening, and if you couldn't ask for an audience that was so ready for that moment and got that moment where Chris is like, Deadpool's going, oh my god, he's gonna say it, Avengers flame on, and then the whole crowd went, oh my god.
Yeah,
because here's the thing, pause, I'm not gonna do it. Here's what's up is that like Chris Evans has admitted that like he's embraced Captain America. He's done a great job being Captain America. But also, Johnny is a part of his career too. And, he did get kind of right, he did get a lot of decent, accolades for playing the character, being one of the more interesting things in those two movies. So I heard that, I was reading that he was actually kind of like, hey, is there a way I can do Johnny? And here's the thing, the other stuff is that like in the 2005 film is a nostalgia movie now for some folks. I have to admit, there are a couple of guys who I know who are a little younger than me, and that's their first exposure to Fantastic Four. And for them, Chris as Johnny is part of their nostalgia, part of their childhood. So I can acknowledge that, and that's completely fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the 2005 film.
It's pretty poor in my. It's pretty not great as an origin. Not
great as a. It's a series of vignettes more than anything else.
Yeah, it's not super fun.
Yeah, it's not super. In my opinion, it's not super fun.
You want a comic movie to really be like fun.
Yeah. And it's a lot of humor that doesn't really work on me. It's a lot of it's a tone that doesn't work. It's a cast that doesn't really gel as well as they could have. There's that bit at the end where Johnny's burning up Doom in a big ball of Nova, and Ben goes, "Flame on, kid!" And I'm like, I know you wanted that to be a moment.
Yeah.
Even if they are the ones that have the most interesting chemistry, I was still very much like, Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I think it's time. Let's get into the Fantastic Car.
Yeah. A thing that we haven't seen yet.
We saw it for 2.5 seconds in 1994 film.
Okay. All right.
But barely. It's a blip. We'll be in the Fantastic Car, and we're going to fly back around 10 years later again.
To all who come to this happy podcast, welcome.
Anna Musings are your musings.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future.
Hi, I'm David.
And I'm Kayla.
And if it wasn't readily apparent from that, we're huge nerds about Disney. That's why we're doing the Anna Musings podcast.
Once a month, we'll sit down and talk about a film in detail from the Walt Disney Animation Studios filmography, covering them in chronological order, from Snow White to Moana and beyond.
To Moana and beyond!
Sweetie, we're not doing Pixar yet. We'll do that after.
And that's gonna be a long time coming. Anyway, if that sounds up your alley, come join Kayla and I, and maybe a guest or two, as we explore the Disney animated canon, film by film.
With the hope that it'll be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Ooh, nicely said.
Don't thank me, thank Walt.
Whoa, what was that? Oh, it looks like Johnny Storm is flying next to us. Hey, hello, Johnny.
Hello. Hi, Johnny.
So we're still in the Fantastic Car, though. It doesn't go quite as fast as Johnny. But let's get a little listen in on what's going on Something New, our Patreon exclusive this month, talking about, you guessed it, another Fantastic Four film. Here's a little preview of that.
It's funny, the trailer for this movie wasn't even a trailer. It was the wedding. It was essentially this scene. It was the wedding scene, shortened, of course, that led to the surfer's arrival, that led to Johnny chasing the surfer. That was the teaser.
That's a good teaser.
It's a very good teaser.
It's a solid idea for a teaser. Yeah.
It was like they showed kind of confidence. I went, oh, you know this is the best parts.
I like when they do that for a teaser or trailer.
Yeah.
It's just like one full scene, or they've cut some stuff out, but it's like, it's the scene where you're like, oh, you know what you're doing. Yeah.
Like, I'm getting a taste of this. That's better than like a fast cut thing. I'm flying a little faster now, thanks, because I'm borrowing the Silver Surfer's surfboard. So anyway, you can listen to that episode exclusively on Patreon, only for $1. You can join the rest of our fantastic Patreon supporters and get access to that episode. Especially because I would feel like it's still worth a watch in addition to this episode, but also the many years of 100-ish episodes of Patreon exclusive only episodes. We've only have this stuff on Patreon. They're not going to be on the main timeline. Other remake reviews, other remake pitches we've done, etc. And for $25 a month, you, the audience member, if you've been listening for 100 episodes and going, I can't believe you still haven't covered that, tell us. Shove money in our pockets. And we will happily finally do that remake we have not covered yet. Again, there are some big ones we haven't even touched yet. There's some Disney ones we haven't even done yet.
There's a few.
You can also be strangely specific with your remake choice. Great example. We've already covered Christmas Carol, but one Patreon supporter said, cover the Muppet one and the Disney one. I'm like, touche, we actually haven't done that. So we did that one. You're in control for $25 for 1 month, and we'll do that episode. All right. We landed. Surfer, here's your surfboard. I can't tell which gender that was, but they seemed cool.
All right, let's start the timer. We're getting into what some people call Fant 4 Stick, Fant Stick 4, however you want to say it. It came out in 2015, 10 years after the other one. We're in this 10-year cycle. That's another thing that I think is weird about this.
Yeah.
What, 10 years?
Every generation.
Yeah.
It's a Fantastic Four.
And, well, they were getting worse, I would say.
You'll
have to wait to the end to see if they get better.
But I want to point something out again. We've mentioned the fact that that the company that did it watched the Doom documentary.
Right.
There was a consistent production company, Constantine Film.
Right.
Believe it or not, still involved. Wow. Even to this iteration, Constantine Film was the production company that had the rights since 1994, and again, watched Doomed for the potentially shady business deal they did, trying to retain those rights all the way up to this iteration. Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Andrew, let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
With 28 minutes to spare.
Yeah.
It's 2015, 2013, 14 when this movie got in production. We are now 2 years after Nolan's last Batman movie.
Right.
We are 1 year after Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
People are digging superhero films. Avengers made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And you would think the answer to doing more superhero films is to reflect the Marvel aesthetic, the Marvel approach, which many people have been trying to do, right? But part of the thing that I keep feeling like they don't want to do is the brightness and the humor of a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
They figure, well, that's theirs. That's their style. We got to do something different, even though you were all trying to make a shared universe thing. So In 2012, a movie called Chronicle came out.
Yes.
That director, Josh Trank, and a writer who I will not mention.
Right. Yeah.
Made a movie for a surprisingly decent budget and did a fairly interesting, entertaining, in my opinion, movie about teens with superpowers.
It was great. I remember really enjoying it.
I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's for some reason it's found footage,
yes,
or at least part of it is.
Yeah.
And
they did a fairly okay job justifying it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool stuff in that movie. I agree. I actually do like that movie a lot.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off.
Michael B. Jordan's in it.
He's great in it.
And it is teens getting superpowers from
Yes.
a
Mysterious.
supernatural, mysterious space perhaps object, and Michael B. Jordan's one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's kind of like priming him for this.
it is. It is very obviously how Josh Trank got the gig. So I brought up all that Man of Steel, Dark Knight stuff for a reason.
Oh yeah.
This movie decided that's the approach.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to Nolanize the Fantastic Four.
We're going gritty.
We're going great. We're going grounded.
Yeah. Very grounded.
Very grounded.
So grounded because in the first scene, a kid builds a teleporter.
Yep.
So grounded.
So grounded.
Anyway.
Oh my God. I'll just rip this off. What an awful approach.
They do a time jump here too.
They do.
But it's specifically for Ben and Reed.
Yeah.
And Reed is a little experimenter kid, and Ben befriends him.
Let's, as we've done before, let's run down the cast.
Oh yeah.
Who's in this?
Miles Teller
Mhm.
is Reed.
Mhm.
Jamie Bell is Ben.
Mhm.
Kate Mara is Sue. Michael B. Jordan, who we mentioned, he's
Mhm.
Johnny.
Mhm.
And Toby Kebbell is Doom.
Yeah.
We have some other greats in the cast.
That's true.
Reg E. Cathy is Dr. Franklin Storm.
I actually really like him.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where you bring in a character that's sometimes in the comics or
Mhm.
whatever, and
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, this is kind of what this version needed.
Yes.
They needed this guy.
Yes.
Tim Blake Nelson as Dr. Harvey Allen. Do you want to just talk about it now where
Yeah. Go ahead.
he was supposed to be Mole Man? He was supposed to be Mole Man. Mole Man's back, everyone. They couldn't do it without Mole Man. But then they got scared again. They pulled a jeweler on it.
They pull a jeweler on it.
And they're like, actually, he's just a military scientist guy.
But Doctor, he is supposed. And here's the irony of that: Tim Blake Nelson, not a bad casting for a traditional Mole Man.
It's very and it's also very funny to me that then he's also in the Hulk.
He's also in the MCU.
Into the MCU, yeah. He very much wanted to play this kind of character.
He's a character actor who gets that I probably can get more interesting character actory roles in comic book stuff. So yes, he was in the Incredible Hulk, and that made him into
unrelated.
But
and
that was before this movie.
Yeah,
and
then they bring him back.
They bring him back this year in Captain America: Brave New World as the leaders. They finally pulled out Trio.
I wonder, they could bring him back from Mole Man.
They
That's all I'm saying.
They can bring him back from Mole Man.
They can have an alternate Mole Man.
That's totally fine.
There's some other random. This cast is so bizarre too.
Yeah,
Speaking
dude.
of
We have
the
to
Kerry
bring this up.
Washington moment in the last one. This is
super
three
weird.
of those.
Yeah, super weird.
Tim Heidecker
What the hell are you
as
doing?
Reed's dad.
What are you doing here?
And the only scene that he has is he's like watching sports, being pissed off that his son's an inventor.
Yeah.
Insane. Dan Castaneda
Homer.
as Mr. Kenny, a teacher who's mean to Reed.
He has it out for Reed. It's really weird.
It's just so insane.
Really weird.
And then this is the one that I didn't know until I watched it this time and did a little deep dive. Chet Hanks as Ben Grimm's older brother, the only one that we see on screen that punches him.
Yeah.
And originates the clobberin' time phrase. Chet Hanks, I say this with all seriousness,
Yes.
the lesser Hanks child.
Yes.
What?
Come on. Legitimately forgot he's here because he didn't register with me. But what I never will forget, and I'm gonna bring, because this is why I decided to bring up It's Clobbering Time in the last set chunk.
Yeah.
So, first movie, Ben just says it. Second movie, it's a toy that Ben doesn't like but says it
I think
anyway.
Johnny got a marketer to invent that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
100%.
the plot there.
Yeah. And then, even though Ben clearly doesn't like it, he uses it anyway. Here, clobbering time is something that Ben's older brother says to him before he beats him up.
It's the trauma.
But yet,
It's the trauma.
to jump to the end, Ben uses it before, again, fighting Doctor Doom.
You gotta say it when you punch Dr. Doom.
But why? The origin gets worse as.
It does get worse.
Okay,
It gets so much worse.
yes,
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this movie for absolutely nothing happening in this movie. Like, it's just so many weird, bizarre things. So, okay, I will say, here's my one thing.
Okay.
My one thing that I say this movie is
Angry.
kind of smart about.
Go ahead.
Not Ben Grimm at all.
All right.
It's not space.
Yeah.
It's like an alternate world or
Mhm,
something.
mhm.
It's the teleporter is actually not it is a teleporter, but it's going not somewhere on Earth.
Right.
Somewhere on a different planet.
Yes.
I think that's the smartest change
Mhm.
because the idea of going into space and studying space, that is a very 60s
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
And so even in the 2005 one, they don't even show the launch.
Yeah.
And they're just up on a space station because, today we still have a space station of whatever, but there's space activity going
Right.
on in our orbit.
Right.
But even at 2005, that was like, yeah, astronauts fly up there all the time. It's like, yeah, space isn't as cool as it was.
Which is wild to say.
I know. And so they make a change. They make,
Yeah.
this is their big idea. They're not going to space. The experiment is going to this other planet through a teleporter, which is like, I can get on board
Right.
with that.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that. It's everything else that goes wrong.
We'll get to that. And I agree with you on that. This is actually inspired very, very, very loosely with the Ultimates version of the Fantastic Four. It's not exactly the same, but it takes that element and does. I agree. It's a new unexplored exploration that has the vibe and the feel of going into space for the first time. And I agree. That does make it a modern change that would still create that awe.
Yep.
Potentially create that awe of travel and science and wonder, but in a way that's not been done yet, which is dimension hopping.
Yeah.
And in case you guys don't know about the Ultimate comic, the Ultimate comics are Marvel's attempt to sort of do hard reboots of all their characters with not like the decades history of those books. So it's kind of supposed to be a place where you can start from here while the other continuity is still going on. So, Ultimate Spider-Man, as Andrew mentioned earlier, is a great comic.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's so good. And Ultimate Fantastic Four was interesting. Was my favorite, but it was interesting. And this movie takes a lot from Ultimate Fantastic Four in terms of making them younger and the dimension thing. Not with Reed, though. The concept of Reed coming up with this like dimension hopping thing, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely a movie invention.
So that's the other big thing is they're all like 18, like they're all young.
Yeah.
Like Reed comes right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is supposed to be a senior in high school, graduating, then getting this internship at the Baxter Building. Ben just goes home.
Yeah.
Okay. That's some piss poor writing as far as I'm concerned. Because the reason why they bring him back is they all got drunk and said, "Come back, we're doing science."
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Like I can't even sugarcoat
God.
how incredibly stupid it is in the moment where I'm like, there's no security in this building.
Yeah.
And then Sue figures out what they're doing, and she is the one who calls her dad. But it's also like they couldn't just remotely shut down. Like no one else is there to just stop them. It's so incredibly dumb.
It's on a basis minus the origin of being an adaptation of the comic book. It's all what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. It's really stupid. But then going into the comic book shit, once again, you decided Doom is part of the origin.
Yeah.
And worse, you don't even invite Sue
Mm-hmm.
to be on the mission.
Yeah.
What the F? Instead, yeah, Ben's there because, well, Ben has to be here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad.
He calls, and it's not even like, oh, Ben is a pilot. Like, no, he doesn't even know how to
He's just
do
his
anything.
best friend.
He's never been here. Why
Yeah.
would he even agree to this?
Yeah.
It's so insane.
And then the fact that they have to say that they're drunk to justify
yeah.
this poor choice is really stupid.
Really stupid. I think they could have just been like young people making a dumb choice.
Right.
It didn't have to get that. But then the other thing about Doom is that in this version, he's a hacker. Let me go back to my chart. Let me pull up the chart real quick. Where did I leave off on the chart? 2015. Read. Too focused. That's how I described it. Ben, confused, angry. Yeah. Sue, out to prove herself. I think that's a strong thing, a strong choice.
Yeah.
This is out of the Sues that have existed that we've
So
talked
far,
about.
That's a strong
choice.
Yeah.
Because I think it can tie into the base thing that all these movies are like, well, she's a woman. It's like she has to prove herself.
Right.
But it's like she works harder than all of them.
Yeah.
Johnny's reckless.
Yeah.
It's
Still
Doom, hacker, and then I wrote, hates Earth. He hated Earth before he went through his transformation.
Yeah. Then really hates Earth when he became Mr. Metal Man.
Yeah.
Since we're here on the Doom conversation, the irony is that there is no Doom. I'm just gonna say, Doom's not a main character in the first steps, so this will be the last time we'll talk about Dr. Doom.
So yeah, what a I don't know if that's a blessing or what. Like,
I don't know. Yeah,
like, thanks.
because
I
here's
guess.
the funny thing. After this, unless Robert totally whiffs it, Joseph Culp, you might still be the best on-screen Doom.
Yeah.
But here's the stuff with that drives me nuts about this Doom. Okay, first off, yes, it's stupid. He's a hacker. What the F? What the literal F? He's a hacker.
And they say that he's a Latverian royal whatever.
But here's the thing about that. One, I'm convinced that was an add-on for reshoots.
Oh, sure.
Because it's an
this
insert
movie
shot.
got reshot
crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
This is one of the infamous reshot movies that happened in the last decade. It's weird to think there were at minimum 3 and they're all comic book movies. But also that makes sense. But yes, this movie, that bit of shot of seeing Victor Von Doom, Latveria, I'm like, that's an insert you added later. And you, once again, are chicken to make Doom be Doom because you decided in the script, apparently Doom has an accent, but it's clear that Toby just speaks whatever. And the reason I say the script is because there are multiple jokes from Johnny who calls out his accent. Oh, Adolf's here.
He does say that.
Borat here doesn't like this. Why would he say these lines unless he talked with a heavy Eastern European accent, which Toby does not do? What? Once again, since 1994, you guys have been afraid of Doom's accent. Here's another example that maybe it's Mandela effect, but might be true. I'm going to jump back to 2005. There was some early footage of the FF movie that came out, right? Early, got leaked. Why does this keep happening with Fantastic Four movies? Anyway, one of them is a press conference sequence that clearly was to celebrate the launch. And it has Doom talking to the press about traveling to the stars. But it's very interesting, and I remember a lot of people pointed it out at the time of the release of this leaked footage, that Julian had an accent. And then, I'm assuming they did that one-day shoot, someone went, nix the accent, and then they cut that scene, and every scene after that, Doom spoke with Julian's regular accent.
Wow. Huh.
So once again, the Doom in '94, it was just incompetence. No one agreed on how to do the Latvian accent. But since then, it's been you're afraid to do the accent.
Wow. Now that we're really into it, I am like, is Robert Downey Jr. going to do an accent?
Right?
That is a real interesting thing. Okay, just because Doom never comes up is not going to come up for this episode.
Just finish up your...
I really am also like having that thing. I mean, every 2 weeks someone has a leak or a secret, or they're like, oh, we have this secret about the set that Robert Downey Jr., here's the plot, here's what's actually going to happen. I really am, because of the way that Marvel has been with all their secrets and their reveals and their ways of making you look one way and not realize another thing. I'm like, is he actually Doom? I don't even know. Like, I'm so on that edge of like, I don't want to get excited because I'm like, is he even actually Doom? Are we just gonna sidestep it? Is it gonna be some weird alternate bullshit? I don't know. I don't want to get excited.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. But this Doom sucks.
This Doom sucks.
So they do the whole, the first half of this movie is like the, I don't know, it's just like the Harry Potterification.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, the smart kids go to smart school.
Yeah.
And they learn all their smart things and they get their smart superpowers. That kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
The second half of this movie is kind of what I remember being sold, like what I had heard Josh Trank's idea for Fantastic Four was, which is a body horror, like hard horror, like it's terrifying to have these powers.
Right.
And it's like, you will be used and abused, like, this is bad. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
We hadn't had that before.
Yeah.
And I was in the throes of the gritty. I was like, yeah, let's get a little gritty in there.
Yeah.
And then they did this, where the first half is we're going to smart school, and then the second half is doesn't it suck to have powers?
Right.
We're just like, not for the Fantastic Four. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
But once they get their powers, they all have to. Reed goes into hiding. He's trying to solve what happened and reverse it.
Right.
That's another thing in some of these movies, the reversal.
Right.
We didn't even talk about it in the 05 version, but the thing gets reversed.
In the 94, the thing gets reversed.
And the thing gets reversed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like a weird recurring thing in the first three versions here, where it's we need to fix this specifically because of Ben.
Right.
Ben is suffering.
Yes.
And this is where Reed's in hiding, and you alluded to he does a face thing, which that scene is just so weird in this
because you can tell that there's something wrong with this guy.
Yeah,
but apparently, with this,
the way they're focusing on this actor, and it's like, are we supposed to know him? And it's like, wait, is he wearing prosthetics?
Yeah, and then he shakes his face, and it's like, oh, it's Reed.
Miles Teller. Yeah,
it's Miles Teller.
But then there's another thing that it's in the second half that is so actually interesting, but it doesn't even develop into anything. So the army is using the thing as a weapon.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, wow, that's the dark, gritty bullshit. But then Johnny wants to be the star.
Right.
He wants to work for the army. And Sue is trying to tell him, no, we're trying to protect you. Do not go work for them. They will use and abuse you. This is where it's like, wow, I haven't seen them be brother and sister until this movie. That's like the moment of like, I care about you because you're my brother. It's like, that's so interesting.
I want to also point out this choice of casting. So I like Kate Mara.
Yeah.
I definitely have liked Michael B. Jordan. But when I heard Michael, I almost feel like Josh Trank sold his gig on doing Fantastic Four with the promise of I can cast Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm. Which, smart. I get it. That's actually a really great call. But then immediately my thought went, okay, cool. So then Sue should be black then, right? Right? Why not?
I had read that Josh Trank did want Sue to be played by a black actress.
Okay.
He pushed for it and could not get it.
And this is where Fox...
I don't know who he had in mind. I don't know if he ever got that far, but it was certainly a Fox decision.
Oh, yeah.
That it was only Johnny could be black.
Which is...
Which is, I think, Josh Trank's way of ultimately doing the big FU to Fox was to cast Reggie Cathy as Dr. Franklin Storm.
Right.
So it's like canonizing the idea that Sue's the adopted one.
Right.
Sue doesn't belong.
Which
is so like the biggest FU that he could do.
I'll give them that.
To this whole thing of not allowing him to do what he wanted to do.
Right. And it's funny because like part of the joke we've talked about with the 05 film is, so you're saying Jessica Alba is biological sisters to Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And they tried it harder in the second movie to make that make sense. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. Here, they called it out and it feels weird.
It does feel weird.
It feels weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not impossible, but it also feels like, yeah, but what? Just make Sue black.
Yeah.
But again, if that's, which I suspect that's the answer, right? Because if I can be kind of loud about it, Yeah, well, that would make half your cast people of color, huh? And you don't want that.
And that's fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's
not that this movie was ever going to be good. I don't think.
I don't think so.
It reached a certain critical mass of not being good, but that would have been cool. Like that would have been good. Characters change. We're seeing that all the time. So
this is the stuff with like, again, it's like I agree that like, but yeah, like I think this approach at the end of the day was wrong for this franchise.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons I kind of mentioned earlier. That's how I viewed it, and it's like, look, I can see the body horror thing, but I also feel like that's pushing it. Like that doesn't feel right. Like some give me make the first issue wasn't fully them being superheroes. I get that, but also, it wasn't a body horror comic book. Like it wasn't, like it wasn't Reed going, "Oh my god, I'm melted." It's like no, it was like that's not what happened. And yeah, in terms of going back to Reed, that ability is really weird to see in a movie that's so grounded
mm-hmm.
and so gritty and etc. It doesn't really vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I also hate seeing them being militarized.
Yeah.
I hate the idea that Ben killed 43 people. That's mentioned.
Yep.
And again, going back to your point of how far away from the comic, it's not, Doom gets it the worst, but it kind of happened with all of them. Like, Kate Sue is a more interesting character, but do I argue that's Sue Storm? No.
Yeah.
It's a more interesting character compared to what Alba was given, and Rebecca Stab is fine. Like, I think she's good in the role, but I also feel like there's no, like, the writing doesn't really help her. She's sort of, like pining for Alex Hyde White, So I'll give her that, but I feel like that's not Sue. It's a different character that's interesting, but it's not Sue Storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not watching the Fantastic Four when I watch this movie. I see something else that's trying to be anything but the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And that's what really bugs me.
They do end with fighting Doom on this.
Oh my god!
What do they call it? Planet X or something?
Planet X.
Yeah, that's from
Zero,
the comics.
Zero Planet.
Yeah, that's kind of comic related.
There's a dimension they could have called like the negative zone.
But yeah,
which I find whatever.
And then there's the, what is it? The Ant-Man winner, the quantum.
Oh, quantum.
Like they could have made it quantum. They could have done all kinds of whatever.
God. Also, Jesus Christ! It just occurred to me like, oh my god, that's the second time I'm watching these movies where they're fighting Doom while like he's doing undoom-like things.
Yeah, he somehow Doom in this one, he opens up. They're teleporting that goes wrong. Doom is stuck on Planet Zero.
Yeah.
And then when they get back there a year later, he has somehow survived. The planet has attached itself to him, made him its ruler. I don't know. Whatever you want to. Yeah. And he is able to control things on the planet. So he opens a bigger portal that he's going to suck the Earth into there to destroy the Earth. And then they have to defeat him. And it's very similar to the 05 where they have to use all their powers together.
They have to do it together.
He can defeat any single one of them. I like Johnny goes through and destroys the like pillars.
That's kind of fun.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I like the look of Johnny in
yes.
this one.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I kind of dig the look. It might be my favorite of all the iterations, to be honest. Like, if I could be truthful though, I like Miles Teller. I kind of feel he's a little miscast here.
Yeah.
It's just weird that Miles is like bigger than Ben, because I like Jamie Bell too, but it seems weird that Miles is taller than Jamie.
Yeah.
And no matter how many layered clothing you put on him, it's a little bigger than Jamie.
Yeah.
And Jamie's supposed to be Ben Grimm the Bruiser.
I think Jamie Bell is
also miscast.
Horribly miscast. Like the most miscast out of all four of them.
I agree.
To the point where I'm like he's not even, because he's in rock form most of it, but it's like, why did you even pick this guy? Like, I don't have any. I like Jamie Bell as an actor, but it's like, what is he doing here?
It's like, this is a lot of casting of folks who are hot off of another thing and brought onto this thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was hot off
Snowpiercer.
Yeah. Who I do like him in that one.
And there he is with Chris Evans.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
funny. And then Miles Teller, hot off of Whiplash,
Right.
and so I understand that, but they are woefully miscast.
Yeah.
Michael's great, but Michael's Michael B. Jordan.
Exactly. I fully agree. This will just always be the worst movie that he's in.
Yeah,
Like it's just but it doesn't matter. Like he's
but
fine.
he's fine.
He's fine.
He's
more than fine.
He's more than fine.
Yeah.
He's Michael B. Jordan.
He could make 7 more Creed films,
Mhm.
and none of them will be worse than this.
I
can't-
guarantee,
I
guarantee
guarantee
it.
Yeah.
He can make more Without Remorse films. No one watched that one. I can tell you, guarantee you, that will still be better than this one.
Yeah.
This movie isn't just a combination of bad tone, wrong tone. It's a combination of no one's happy.
Yeah.
The studio tried to do their thing. Josh Trank tried to do his thing, and no one got anything they wanted. It's such a weird thing to see these 3 Fantastic Four films where it's some form of pushback and some form of fighting that the filmmakers have to do to try to make something that apparently no one agrees upon on how to do it. It's very odd.
Yeah.
And at this point, if you count Rise of Silver Surfer, that's 4 of them.
Yeah.
One that didn't get released. Well, this clearly failed.
Yeah.
So
Hit that 10-year button. We're gonna go 10 more years without one of these, and then we're gonna get to Fantastic Four first steps.
There's a small amount. At the end of the day, no. When the Disney, I won't point this out. When the Disney buyout to Fox happened, I also didn't want the monopoly. I agree with that. That's a monopoly. It's not really good for business. It's not really good for anyone. But the only small selfish thing I was like, that does mean they can buy the Fantastic Four away from Fox. Which I'm like, can't you just give it to them? You guys have been clearly screwing this up. But that's not how this works.
No, they're like holding it hostage.
Yeah.
It's really like they're like, we'll make another one. They got a gun to like a comic book. They're like, you want this? Make another one.
Make another one now. The rights are gonna go away.
Give us the money.
The rights are gonna go away any minute now. Make this movie. So 10 years later happens.
Yeah.
We're now fully more in MCU. Let's keep in mind, 2015 MCU, it's already cooking.
Yeah.
But now we're
Avengers was 2011.
2012.
2012.
So we're already on. We're like Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Guardians. Spider-Man's coming back. Coming into for the first time. They are cooking.
Yeah.
And Fox was hanging on with their dear lives with Fantastic Four and X-Men as their hope for a future crossover thing.
I mean, X-Men was their big one. They kept making those.
Yeah.
They figured out how to do a soft reboot essentially with the First Class and make them all younger.
Yeah. Deadpool was
and
around the
then
corner.
Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They announced a Gambit movie that, well.
I don't know if I can get the exact way that he says it. What is it? He's like, now's about the time as a spotlight. He's like, this is it for me.
Woo!
I'm gonna be woo-wee. His strange New Orleans.
Like, oh my goodness.
Anyway,
different thing.
Yeah, did not. Yeah, Gambit didn't come about.
Gambit can come about, and the Fantastic
until
Four,
Deadpool and Wolverine. You know,
and the Fantastic Four definitely this Fan Four stick killed it.
Now they did do again. I'll just because this is the time to mention it. We're in the MCU now. They teased Reed.
Yes.
In Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Correct.
They had him as part of a team, the Illuminati, which makes sense. That's what he is.
That's
and there he was played by
John
Krasinski.
For some reason, the internet really loved the idea of John Krasinski. I'm gonna say this in recording. I think it's time for me to say this publicly. The internet decided John Krasinski is so perfect for Reed, he should be Reed, and no one else should be Reed. And I am sitting there going, Patrick Stewart is perfect for Professor X. Christopher Reeve was perfect for Superman. Why was John Krasinski your number one choice, internet? I never understood that. I liked him fine.
I think there was also that bit of celebrity coupling where it was like, well, Emily Blunt's going to be
Sue Storm.
Sue Storm.
Which way,
And
again,
it's like, she's a good actress.
and I could see her making it work.
Yeah.
But why?
Why? Yeah. Weird.
What credential, what qualities does John have that you go, no one else can do it better than John Krasinski? It's like, really?
Yeah. So bizarre.
That's so strange. Well, anyway, we didn't go. Thankfully, they did that as a way to go, no, but we'll give you it anyway, but we're not actually going to do it.
They did a classic improv no and. Yes.
But it did scratch the itch, and hey, look, he looked fine. He looked like, oh, that's cool.
And they
that's
talk
cute.
about they brought back the 2015 body horror.
Yeah. It was horrifying how he went out.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about also, no, anyway, no. We gotta move on. But
yeah, it's there. That was MCU.
That
So
was
they
MCU?
they teased him.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, people were obsessed with John Krasinski coming back as Reed, which is like, well, that was that universe, and he died. So,
I'm sorry. We
Maybe-
gotta move on.
let's try again.
Yeah.
Let's try another universe.
So here we are, 2025, 10
Yes.
years again, and start the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four: First Steps is now upon us. It's an interesting thing too, because in the same month this movie came out, another big superhero movie that I argue is more important than them because the superhero genre started popularity because of him.
Yeah.
Came out at the beginning of the month, and that's Superman.
Yeah.
And the Fantastic Four to come out in the same month is a real okay. So, interesting where that goes. I'm not going to go too much into that, but let's jump into the movie.
I think they have. Maybe I'll touch on it as we go, but they have similarities beyond. Like,
oh yes,
there's some very interesting parallels between the two films that I wasn't expecting.
No, same. I agree.
I'm like, huh? That's are we seeing? This is the new trend, I guess. I don't know. I'm excited in a way.
I 100% agree, and actually, I feel like I did a day where I watched them both back to back. And the parallels got stronger because I did that.
Of course, yeah.
But yes, I think the thing in the air is audiences want hope and brightness and a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And that's what Superman delivered, and that's what I think Fantastic Four: First Steps delivered.
Yeah.
First real change. Big change. It's set in here's the thing. Ben Grimm. It's set in what we assume is the 1960s, but never a year is popped up on screen.
No, and they're in universe. What is it? 818.
282. I think
282.
I think so.
I knew there was a repeated.
Yeah.
Because,
I'll double check that.
It's a tribute. We find out by the end because they show it on screen. It's like Jack Kirby's birthday.
It's Jack Kirby's birthday, which
Yeah.
I found it to be a beautiful tribute to Jack Kirby. 828.
828.
Because August 28th.
Mm-hmm.
That's Jack Kirby's birthday. I think that, and then I think Jack Kirby is a big reason the Fantastic Four is, like Stan Lee's writing is of course there and obviously great, but Jack Kirby's art is the powerhouse of the Fantastic Four's success in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie embraces Jack Kirby in a lot of ways. Let us go ahead.
It's the retro future aesthetic.
Yes.
With the bright colors and the silliness.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're in the MCU, but it actually is so detached.
Yeah.
They don't reference any of the other films,
Mm-hmm.
not even in the post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
I was so shocked by that because, if you've seen Thunderbolts,
There's
the post-credit scene references Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, we're going to do that tie-in right away. And no,
Oh.
Fantastic Four stands on its own.
Yes.
You don't have to know any other Marvel thing to watch it, which is kind of refreshing in a weird way. But it's also another thing about the film is it starts later. We don't see the origin.
It's funny. I can't believe I'm going to bring up Superman only one more time. Much like Superman, though, it is in media res. We're past their origin movie. We're literally 4 years after they debut.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's 2025 takes place 3 years after he came out, as we find out. In here, we are year 4 of the FF being in the public eye.
Yeah.
I do want to put a little pause on this movie discussion. I want to talk really, really quick about Peyton Reed,
Okay.
The director of Ant-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Because at one point, while in development of the Fantastic Four movie, he was going to direct it. And his film was going to be set in the 60s.
Yeah.
Which at the time, I was hesitant on because I was like, oh, I get why, but, couldn't you find a way to make it modern? But in hindsight, I understand why. And I think this movie almost shows why doing it in the faux 60s future makes it more sense. They came from that time period. Their origin is of the space race. And that sort of like nostalgia and awe of the origin needs to be retained for the FF. So if they exist in a world where they essentially did the version of the space race, but it's them, I get it. And I think it completely, utterly works.
I was looking at Matt Shackman, who directed First Steps.
Yes.
He, really doesn't come from film. He comes from TV.
Right.
But he did WandaVision. He did, I don't know if he did every episode, but
he did the majority of WandaVision, which
and then the other one is It's Always Sunny. He did over 40 episodes, which is quite a lot.
Yeah.
Which is, I remember now, there was people joking, you look at the It's Always Sunny gang and you turn them into the Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I remember people wanted Glenn Harrington to be Reed.
Oh, Reed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
For a while, I could see him also.
Yeah, I could see him as Doom. That's why I said, I was like, wait a second.
But, once again, there is a cast. This time, Reed Richards is played by Pedro Pascal, who's in 90 movies this year from the last time I checked. Vanessa Kirby is Sue Storm.
Okay. I want to defend Pedro Pascal.
No. I'm not knocking that.
I know.
He's in a lot, though.
I did see a meme recently that really calls it out, where it's like Willem Dafoe's in like double the amount of movies that Pedro Pascal's in. And we're all just like, yeah, whatever. Let's focus on Pedro. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I remember there was an interview with Joseph Gordon-Levitt where he was asked about The Dark Knight Rises and like 2 other movies of his came out at the same time.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, you're really coming out on top. And he's like, I filmed that 2 years ago. I filmed the other one last year. It's like, I don't know when they're coming out. Like they just come out when they come out.
That's true.
Which I do think is just funny that people have focused on Pedro Pascal, and it has created that there's kind of this weird internet thing or group think where it's like, oh, he's in everything. I hate him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you don't actually hate him. You're just seeing him and you're like, I'm tired of seeing him. And it's like, I don't know why you're tired of seeing him. He's a great actor.
No, I
know you're not tired of seeing him.
But I agree with you that I kind of hate that. I remember back when Michael Cera was cast for Scott Pilgrim, everyone's like, I'm so tired of Michael Cera. And when he's literally been in 2 movies in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Why are you tired of him? He's not even in what's happened here. It's like because you think you keep seeing them because you see them online a lot and you see people obsess over them.
Well, and because it's like, you got 3 movies in 1 year. Most, I would think a lot of actors, it's the rare actor that you see them once a year.
Yeah.
Like
it's just
for Ryan Gosling, I was worried about him because we didn't see him for 2 years. I was like, where did he go? Is he okay? He kept roaring back with Barbie and everything else, so he's fine.
No, but I think it's a case of like if you go to the poster and you saw Pedro's face 3 times in a row, I can sort of understand going, but he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I'll get into my thoughts on Pedro as Reed, but Reed Richards, he is. Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm.
Yeah.
Joseph Quinn, Johnny, Human Torch. And Eben Moss, Bachrach?
Yeah, I'm not sure
on that.
Probably,
but Eben, Ben Grimm, The Thing. And there's a lot of other fun casting, like again, since this movie doesn't have a Doom in it.
It has a Galactus.
It has a Galactus. And that is Ralph Ineson.
Yeah.
It does have a Silver Surfer. And that's Julia Garner, who, FYI, you could see her this year in The Wolfman, which we covered,
right?
And this weekend, in August, Weapons. So she's in 3 movies. Where's all that anger?
That's what I'm saying. I just had to call it.
That's fair. No, it's fair.
The other funny one that I remember is for some reason Jude Law. People were mad at Jude Law in like 2009.
You know what? It's like
I'm like, what? Why were we?
Gets me about
what was our problem?
Like, I'll go back. We'll go to the movie. But
sorry.
I want to point this out: is that God forbid, these people who've been working for any job for decades. God forbid they take work on because they're finally at a place that work is happening.
Yeah.
Because not like Pedro Pascal hasn't been a working actor since the 90s. Pause. He has.
Yeah.
And he's getting his big due at 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lay off. Let him make that change. We also have Natasha Lyonne in this film, who I love that she's in this.
Yeah.
I love that she's in this. Some people thought, oh, shouldn't she be Alicia? Sure, I could see that, but we'll talk about who she is in a minute, but I love that she's here. She totally fits the world. And talking about someone who's in a lot of things, Paul Walter Hauser.
They did it.
They did it.
Everyone, they did it. Mole Man.
He's here.
And he's a full character.
Mm-hmm.
And he's called the Mole Man.
He even has like the glasses like the comic. He's
Yeah.
from Subterranea. He has like kaiju. We only see one, but it's the important one. But we do see he's the Mole Man. We did it.
We did it.
It only took.
It took 30 years and 4 or 5 movies.
It's like, oh my god, oh my god,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah,
Mole
we
Man
did it.
is
He's
here.
Yeah.
Let's party. But this movie is like guns a-blazing. It goes right into it.
Yeah.
And it goes straight into the Silver Surfer stuff. Now it's interesting the fact that they decided to go here, but I also kind of see going ahead and knowing that like Galactus is literally and figuratively a big character.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see when they're figuring out their decades-long Marvel plans, that there is no room for a Galactus. Ironic, no room for a Galactus to show up. So I see that it was a smart idea that we're going to do this movie that takes place in media res, in the middle of their lives, in the middle of their careers. That now's this threat that they will face is doom for the audience. So you get to see them do a big Fantastic Four adventure, and they're already kind of seasoned vets.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't really know if we'll ever use Galactus later down the line, but fuck it, let's do it now. Let's do the Galactus. Let's do the whole Galactus story. Let's have Silver Surfer show up, and do the whole, hey, I'm here to tell you bad news. But the other thing this movie is jumping straight into is because we're now past like how they meet, we're full on in family dynamics.
Yeah.
This movie is absolutely confident and brimming with exactly how these four interact with each other,
Mm-hmm.
what their relationships are like with each other, and the importance of that family bond, which I feel everyone who loves the Fantastic Four has constantly said that's the heart of it. And each of the iterations we've talked about, besides arguably the first, the 94 film,
Mm-hmm.
keeps straying further away from. They're bickering a lot in the first movie, which I get. So families bicker. Not that much.
Yeah.
They're all angry teens in the 2015 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Also, did you realize there's only one moment in that one where Johnny and Ben do their classic bickering? It's at the very end.
God, yeah, because they don't know each other.
They don't know each other. Here,
Ben's like fully a random guy that just shows
yeah,
up.
no, 100%. Anyway,
Yeah,
here,
this one, yeah, they
they
nail
know-
it all because
yeah.
because they're starting in the middle.
Yeah.
Because they're starting after.
Yeah.
There's so much that they don't have to explain. They can just get right into the good stuff.
Now, the only thing I would say that's a bit of a bummer doing this is that and look, I have faith that they will do this later or do something like this later. But because we're in the media res with Ben sadly doesn't get a chance to show that sad element of his character.
Mhm.
This man literally is a favorite issue of Fantastic Four called This Man, This Monster, where he really is like so distraught at his condition and his situation that, it's really, it's a struggle for him mentally. And we are past that point. I say if this is year 4, Ben's figured himself out.
Yeah.
Yes, he's still a giant creature, and yes, once in a while he'll be reminded, I used to look like that. But it doesn't bother him as much as he used to. This is a Ben Grimm who's comfortable being the thing.
Yeah.
Though strangely, he still doesn't like saying it's a clobbering time. Once again, first movie he just says it. Second movie came from a toy. Third movie his abusive brother said it to him. Yeah. This time it's a catchphrase from a cartoon show.
Yeah.
which I wanted to make the joke. If you really don't want to go deep cut, his cartoon show catchphrase is "Ring thing, do your thing."
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Anyway,
Ooh-wee. But yeah, so these are the heroes of Earth.
yes,
That's by setting it in a completely different universe. We don't have to worry about any other superheroes.
they're the ones.
This is them. So this is basically like if you picked up like one of the earliest Fantastic Four comics, where it's like only them, only have to worry about them. They're not interacting with any other groups.
Mm-hmm.
It's them and their villains.
Yeah,
and they have like, I mean, even another thing that happens in these films, a character that was cut. John Malkovich, right? He was supposed to play the Mad Thinker or something,
Malkovich,
right? Yeah.
So Malkovich played a character called the Red Ghost.
Oh, okay.
And if I can actually say, I think it's a criticism to me for the film, is that it's very clear that this film had a very different origin, opening structurally, because as I watched it again, and I noticed that, why? I think there's a bit of a rushness in the beginning. Once it's after the opening, it settles into a really great pace. But I think there's a bit of a rushness in the beginning, and I realized like because the movie had originally a longer opening, and that opening probably included the TV show they were guest starring on, but also included what am I assuming is this: they were going to do the TV show intro, right? And that TV show was going to introduce their origin in a montage reel that they created, right? And right before they were going to show up on screen, beep beep beep. Oh, we got to do our Fantastic Four thing, and then they run out of the studio.
Right.
There's actually footage of
There's
this.
footage of in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they run out of the studio, and this is where they're gonna fight Red Ghost and his space apes. That's literally their names.
We do see. I mean, they have that in the movie where Reed punches an ape or whatever.
And there's clips of it throughout the film, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's clips of it throughout this opening sequence, and there's clips of it in the end credits. But I also see like that sequence where Johnny and Sue are saving people. Oh, that's from the extended opening that was supposed to include John Malkovich.
Right.
So I have this theory that that's what's going to happen. And then, it settles into the rest of the movie. So that's probably 20 minutes of the movie. 15 maybe. Let's be fair. Probably 15 minutes. And my theory is Marvel and Disney are now trying to make movies shorter because people are complaining that movies are shorter or longer, too long. So I think they decided, is there a way you can make this opening sequence truncated to the bare minimum so that we can just get to the rest of the movie and make it under 2 hours? And I think Matt Shankman agreed to it and did the best he could. And it's not terrible. It totally is still fine, but I can't help but feel like if you gave me this 15-minute that I'm assuming is there, because I'm seeing the footage of it being there, that I think the movie would have been better. I think this is the one time where I think it's okay for this one to be over 2 hours. I think I would have been fine with this one being 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think this one's okay. Maybe not Mission Impossible Final Reckoning was 3 hours. And I like those movies. But even I'm not sure if that one needed to be 3 hours. Because I feel like I needed that breather to see who they are, see them in their comfortable element before, it felt a little missing for me. But I don't know, maybe you were fine with it. I don't know. This is me.
I felt those missing pieces. These movies go through so much edits and re-edits and whatever. When you remove a whole character, I'm like, oh, that you can feel it.
You can feel it.
Yeah. So what they do in this movie is something that no other Fantastic Four movie has done. Sue is pregnant.
Yeah.
And has the baby in the movie.
Yeah.
And we see the baby.
Yeah.
And it's a CGI baby and it's scary looking sometimes. I can't look.
We tried.
I don't know what the hell is going on. These movies, maybe they're made too fast. Like,
yeah, maybe
right? We need to give the CGI people a little more time.
But also, like, can we maybe lay off the CGI babies?
Yeah.
No more CGI babies.
So
like
and
the Flash,
yeah.
ugly.
Oh my god.
Ugliest CGI things I've ever seen. Those babies.
Monstrosities.
Here, also just barely. Just
sometimes when they were holding him, I was like, "What are you actually holding? Were you doing nothing on set and they had to create your whole arms too?
Like,
what is going on?"
Because before that moment, it's a good sequence.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good sequence.
Well, and a lot of the effects look really good. It's just like specifically the baby.
Babies are hard. Apparently.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Here's the thing I will say about what I like most about this movie. Is that it feels like a Fantastic Four story. Like I said before, like Fantastic Four is a combination of genres and things. And part of the fun of the Fantastic Four is like, yes, they fight bad guys, and they do fight bad guys. But also they also explore and they travel and they see new things and meet new things. So I love the fact in this movie that like, okay, we got word about this horrible demigod who's going to want to kill the planet. Let's figure it out. And they go straight to him.
Yeah.
They travel and try to negotiate with him. And I'm like, that is what I'm talking about. Space travel, new planets.
I liked his ship a lot.
Oh,
Galactus' ship was so cool because
super cool.
The other thing about it is it doesn't feel anything like the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's very much like it has its own set design look book. You know, like everything about it is, this is bad. Like you're like, oh, I'm scared. Like everything about it is like really intense.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like everything else was bright and cheery. So it's like that to me, once they landed on a ship and they were like, oh, and Herbie, we haven't even talked about Herbie.
Oh my God, I love Herbie.
Herbie's great.
Yeah.
They sent Herbie off to go collect samples or whatever. And I'm like, I'm worried for Herbie. I'm worried for every single person here, but I'm like, you sent Herbie off alone? Come on.
Don't hurt Herbie.
Yeah. But they get to his ship, which is also a funny thing because, you know, look, Galactus hasn't been seen in a ship in a movie before. So it was like, whoa, Galactus has a ship? Yeah, and it's scary looking. Like they see it destroy a planet before they get on the ship.
Yeah.
And they meet with Galactus, who is Ralph Ineson, as we said, fantastic.
Okay, incredible. Yeah.
I don't want to call him a liar. Because I think maybe it's just enhanced. But definitely, he said, I saw an interview where he said he wore the suit, like an actual suit,
and there
was
are
on
pictures
set.
of him of wearing a suit.
But everything in the movie looks enhanced.
I think it's
to a strong degree where I'm like, I wouldn't even know that he was there. I like that he did it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a liar.
No.
I think he's telling the truth, but I don't know if any of the actual footage of him in the suit made it after all the CGI enhancements.
I think I agree with you on that. Because I have seen literal photos of him wearing the suit, and the suit was even at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think this is one of those cases where it's so much CGI enhancement that he melds too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like, could you have less than that so I could...
Yeah, I want to like see his like face.
Yeah.
Like I could tell, I mean, I was like, yeah, this is just like they CGI'd the face because it probably didn't look right with the scale or something. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, but I want to see the face. I want to get that little moment where I see an actor and it's like, oh, you're acting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, look, Peter Dinklage, when he showed up in Infinity War, the great thing about that appearance is that is definitely Peter Dinklage superimposed on a large to make himself look a giant.
Yeah.
And it's great because like, oh, that's Peter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a CGI'd Peter Dinklage. That is absolutely 100% Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, I really like Julia Garner as Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a twist.
She's Shalabal,
who is in the comics Norrin Radd, who is the Silver Surfer in the comics, a woman he loved. Mm-hmm. So that's a fun little swap of that,
which is I think only makes sense because this isn't like the quote unquote true Marvel universe.
Right. So if you want to,
they're saving Norrin Radd,
right,
for whatever true universe. You know, if he ever will come in, that's for that.
That's for that. Yeah.
Great.
100%.
I love it.
I agree, and I think she did a really good job of doing that kind of scary Herald stuff.
Yeah.
You know. And
she's intense. Like the character itself is like the choices that she makes she is like standing up for Galactus to save her planet. She's like, I don't want him to turn around and go back to my planet.
Right.
So I need to make sure nothing goes wrong with this one.
I bring him further out.
Yeah.
You know. No, I agree. I know. Great version of Silver Surfer. Julia's fantastic in it. Let's get to the 4.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just go ahead and say right out the bat, as soon as I heard Eben Moss's name as in the contender for Ben Grimm, I immediately went online and went, "That's your guy."
Well, and you're a bear watcher.
I am a bear watcher.
I'm not a bear watcher.
I know. Yeah,
so I don't really know this guy.
So for me, his character Richie, very beloved character on the show. But what I got from Eben is like, oh, that gruffness, but that heart, that big heart and gruffness. And even though his character is from Chicago, like that vibe is Ben Grimm. And then I looked up further and I'm like, oh crap. See, the point with Ben is that Ben is Jack Kirby's proxy. He's from Brooklyn. He's from New York, in the same street that Jack grew up in. He's literally grew up on Yancey Street.
Mm-hmm.
Actual Jack Kirby. So did Ben Grimm. Ben's also Jewish. So was Jack Kirby. So when I looked up Ebon Moss, Jewish American actor, I went, oh, okay, no, and he's got blue eyes.
And then I mean, this is the first movie to recognize the Thing as Jewish.
Yes.
Right? Like
100%.
I'm like, I don't think I'm misremembering that.
No one ever acknowledged in the other films.
Yeah.
And yeah, no.
And they did it in this film in a way that made sense.
Yes.
Where they think the world is ending, so he goes to temple. Like he goes to be with people. He goes like, I'm like, yeah, that makes total sense.
It's really great.
It's not shoehorned in.
It's not hammered over your head.
Yeah.
And one of the other choices they make, and I think it threw me too until I realized, like, you know what, I actually like it, is Eben's voice doesn't get changed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just the speaking voice.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Chickless and Jamie, and yes, Michael Bailey, they all voiced the Thing, but they also did like kind of like a small filter to reflect the change. Like, oh, nice, I'm like a monster. That's Ebon Moss. And then I remember people were like, what that's weird. And I went, no one ever stated he had to sound like a monster, man. And also, like, if you hire Ebon, he's got such a unique voice. Why hide it?
Mm-hmm.
Why cover it up?
Yeah.
He's great. Perfect Ben Grimm. I can't wait to see him do more with the character.
I do think his character has the least to do in the movie. I agree. And I think they gave him that hint of a love interest as just something.
Yeah. I wish there was more.
Yeah. I don't know what more they could have
done.
Because here's what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. As this movie went on, I was like, oh, this is Johnny's movie.
Yeah.
This Joseph Quinn, he does such a good job of portraying what it is about this Johnny that is compelling, which is that everybody counts him out.
Yeah.
They're like, you'll help, don't worry. And he's like, no, I really want to help. Mm-hmm. He's like, I really want to do something good.
Yeah.
And he wants to show up and be there. So when there's like there's a scene where like he is supposed to meet with Reed about the astronaut suits or whatever. Yeah. And Reed's like, oh, great, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, this is such the perfect dynamic of Johnny, where it's like, he's not, it's not that he's a womanizer. It's not that he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to do this thing and nobody will let me do it.
Because they view him as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. It was to the point where I was like, I could see this movie working as a focused on Johnny.
Sure.
It's a Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
But Johnny is our audience, like, person.
Right.
Like, is the one that we follow. Sure, we meet everyone else, but it's like Johnny's the one because they give him so much. He's the one who works to deal with the surfer.
Yeah.
He's figuring stuff out, even to the point where at the end he is the one who's going to sacrifice himself until the surfer shows up. Like, it's truly like his movie where I was like so shocked and how much I loved this version of Johnny more than any of the others.
I want to point something out. Remember how I brought up earlier that like one of the issues of the movies is explaining why is Sue and Johnny on the ship?
Yeah.
And this movie also says the answer is they're scientists. But this time I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually bought it this time because Sue shows enough intelligence and push to I can buy it. But Johnny's side quest on figuring out the Silver Surfer's language, I was like, this is great. This is great use of Johnny. Joseph was one I wasn't hot on casting because I liked him in Stranger Things, but I wasn't like, yeah, Johnny Storm. I went, oh, I can see it, I guess. Turned over, completely sold on him. He's great. He is fantastic, yes. But speaking of Sue, I'm going to say it. I love Vanessa Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's the definitive live action Sue Storm to me.
Yes.
It's not a lot of competition.
No.
But I think she's the only one, she embodies the character perfectly. But two, the writing. Sue, and I kind of had a strong feeling they were going to nail Sue because of the trailers. Because Sue is the heart of the FF.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the beginning, because there was strong misogyny in writing those comics in the beginning. But eventually, Sue became the strong heart of the FF. And if Reed is the tactician, Sue's the heart. And the scene where the Silver Surfer is asking, "Are you its protectors?" And Sue's the first one, no hesitation, went, "We are."
Yeah.
The fact that she works at the UN. The fact that she's a voice.
Oh yeah, the Future Foundation.
Future Foundation,
uh-huh.
yeah. I'm like, all of this. And she's a great sister. She's a best friend to Ben. She's a good partner and a loving mother. There. Freaking finally.
Yeah, they did it.
They did it. There's a great Sue Storm, and here she is. And also, like, Vanessa's actually a blonde, so you don't have to.
Well, I don't know. If
Is she actually blonde?
I think she died.
Did she die yet?
Yeah.
Is it always died? Is none of these characters ever the character? I know
No.
Joseph has to die.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Vanessa be blonde in so many other projects.
She's done. Yeah, she's been doing blonde for a while, but I don't think she's a natural blonde.
God damn it. I always say that. Every time I say that, someone's like, not an actual blonde. Really? God damn it.
Fooled you.
Like, for a while, I was, anyway.
Yeah.
Regardless. She's great, though.
Hey, she's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of that, and it does go back to the writing to that extent. I don't think it's all Jessica Alba's fault.
Nope.
In that one, it was a lot of the writing.
Yeah.
But here, the writing's pretty strong. And they manage, I mean, except for, I will say the thing they give the least to work on. And then, Reed is so interesting because I think part of what I know from the comics of Reed is that he is kind of like a jerk. Like, he does have his moments where he doesn't care what someone is caring about. Like, he is just so straight into, well, this is the logical thing to do.
Right.
Or this is the only way to do this thing, or whatever. Doesn't matter. He thinks of the risks, but he just goes for it.
Yeah.
And so this one, they balanced that.
Yeah.
They had that scene where, because, I mean, and then this is credit to the movie as well for managing to have the huge world-ending stakes, but also the personal stakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Galactus wants the baby.
Right.
And they won't give him the baby because, of course, it's their baby.
No, Reed.
But then he's going to eat the earth.
Reed, it's good that Reed straight up went, absolutely no.
Yeah. But but later you get that they have their argument.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I know you thought about it. And he's like, of course I thought about it.
Right.
I have to think about this.
Right.
I have to think about the bad things to make sure they don't happen. And she's like, no, you don't. And it's like, yeah, that's the whole push and pull of these two, where it's like, why do you always have to be a jerk about it? And he's like, I don't. I'm doing it to help people. And she's like, you can be nice and help people.
You cannot do that and still be helping people.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Reed Richards.
And then she goes and she proves that.
Yeah.
Because it's truly like she makes it personal for everyone.
Right.
She's like, comes out of their building where there's people massing out there to, I don't know what they're doing. They're just protesting.
Protesting for sure. Yeah.
And she's like, hey, everyone, I'm Sue. This is my baby. And it's like, oh yeah, that totally is like cuts everyone's arguments down, because it's like, you can't, if you make it personal for everyone, then they start to see.
It's the great thing about that Sue speech is the combination of you have turned my baby into a thing, forgetting the fact that it is a living person and it's my baby.
Mm-hmm.
But not even just that, you're telling us we can't come up with another option.
Yeah.
And that is not our job. We have the job of figuring out a way that all of us can live. That's us. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I will sacrifice no lives for the earth, and no lives on earth will be sacrificed. That is our job. That's what we're here for. And everyone's like, okay, sorry, you're right. It's like,
oddly enough, teleporting.
How about that? We're back to teleporting. I didn't even put that until you just said it.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Because it's such a stupid part of the 2015 one that you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, teleporting comes back, and
I do. Go ahead.
No, I think it's also another funny thing to me that it's like, well, obviously this movie takes place on an alternate Earth where the entire Earth can come together and decide, yes, we will conserve energy together in order to defeat global warming. Oops, I mean Galactus. Because it's like a weird hopeful Earth where all the nations are happy together.
I want to point something else about Herbie, right? Is really quick. The funny thing about Herbie, because Herbie, this is one of the cases where we're taking a bad thing and making it into a good thing. Herbie is infamous for Fantastic Four fans because Herbie was in the original cartoon show, not the original, second cartoon show, and they didn't include Human Torch, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Why is there a robot here?"
Huh? Yeah.
And there was a rumor for the longest time that people were afraid kids were going to put themselves on fire.
Oh, okay.
Which is not true.
No, but
the actual answer.
Sure.
The actual answer is someone at the time decided to do something with the rights to Human Torch.
Oh.
And they just didn't have the rights to the Human Torch.
Huh.
So, which is also the reason why the Jeweler became, why the Mole Man became the Jeweler.
Right.
Even though he was a Fantastic Four villain, some weird issue with the rights came about, so they had to change it to the Jeweler. So here, Herbie was that. So I find, a friend of mine said this, it's very funny, is that Herbie and Johnny are really good buddies. Like Johnny calls him Herbert, he respects him, he pats his head, and even though Herbie's a robot, he can acknowledge but Johnny likes me. And I'm like, that's hilarious. You're his replacement.
They never say it in the movie, did Johnny make Herbie?
I don't know. It's possible.
Because that would make sense.
That would make sense. But yeah there is a very cute relationship between Johnny and Herbie. That is doubly ironic, knowing that Herbie was Johnny's replacement in one of the Fantastic Four cartoons.
Very funny. I like. Okay, I'm gonna say there is. I can't call it anything else but the Galactus problem. So when you literally invent a villain, that is the most powerful and biggest thing ever, and it's coming straight for you, and you can't defeat it. They recognize we cannot defeat this. Reed, part of his whole thing is in the research that he can do based on what they've learned about Galactus is he's older than the universe. He's the oldest thing that they've ever seen. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. And how do you defeat that? You can't. So their first idea is that they're going to teleport the Earth to another place, which seems insane. Talk about a Doctor Who plot.
Which is literally what they did.
But yeah, it's like, okay. But then the Silver Surfer comes in and destroys all their little things. Except for one, because of Johnny. Which this is where I'm like, how is Johnny? Johnny's like the strongest character. It's so insane to me. I could not see that coming at all. Because you got Pedro Pascal in this. I'm like, he's going to lead the shit out of this movie. And then Johnny shows up and is like, so good. But that's how teams go in these things where it's like, you never know. They have one teleporter. So they're like, well, we got to trick Galactus to come to Earth and stand in the teleporter. I was like, that's insane. I love this. It's truly and that's what, the thing that I loved in the trailer was they show Galactus stepping on her, walking down a street. I was like, you can't get more comic book, ooey gooey comic bookness than Galactus walking through New York.
Yeah, I agree. I love it.
That whole Galactus sequence at the end, I love.
It's great.
Every single part of it.
It's every part, big comic booky stuff you want them to do.
Yeah.
It's Reed and doing all the stretchy things he can do. It's Ben doing all the Ben crushing stuff he can do. And okay, unpinning this from earlier. It's clobbering time is a thing from a cartoon show. And yes, Ben also, I'm not a big fan that Ben doesn't like it. I think at the end of the day, the answer should be, why do you say it's clobbering time? Because he says it. It's just what he says.
Yeah.
But unlike 2005, it's a recurring joke in this movie that Johnny likes egging Ben about the line.
And that's good character work.
And it also sets up the reason why he does it at the end. It's like, it's good character work because it's part of their banter. It's a reminder of the joke. It's like, hey, Ben, what time is it? It's dinner time. Or it's dinner. Get inside. It's like, hey, Ben, you know what? Do you want to do what to that machine? I'm not answering. That's the vibe, right? And here they are, big finale. Got to take out Galactus. Ben's being held by Johnny and flames. And Johnny's like, what time is it? just to hype him up, just to get him going. It's like, no, do it, dude, do it, say it. Fine, it's clobbering time. And I'm like, that makes sense, as opposed to, why would he say a thing his brother who abused him would say before he beat him up?
Mm-hmm.
Or why would he say a thing that a toy that he saw once that he didn't like? Why would he say that? Here, it's a thing that sets up, and Johnny is doing it to egg him on, and in the reason it happens at the end, Johnny's pumping Ben up. Yeah. Johnny's getting Ben to get in the game. He's like, you got this. Say the stupid cartoon line. Say it, because that's what you're going to do, right? What are you going to do to Galactus? I'm going to clobber him. You're going to clobber him.
It's great. Yeah, it's really good.
It works. Here.
Yeah. I think, and then there's even like something about Galactus has like a moment where he like picks up some of the dirt in a tree and he like sniffs it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because he's like, this is my little, I'm going to get to eat this planet soon. Like, or it's almost, he thinks he's getting the baby, so he's not going to eat the planet. He's like, oh, I'm going to miss this. Like, there's something so good in that moment of like, what? Like, why? That's such a choice, and I love it.
It's also, it's like, this is spoiler. Yeah, look, we spoil the movies on the show anyway. But the movie does end with Sue dying.
Yes.
Which,
thanks, Disney. Every fucking movie has to end with one of the main characters dying and then coming back to life.
Which we all knew was going to happen. But it's also funny because, again, I guess I will just say this very pointedly. If you listen to our Patreon, it's funny how that happened. Here, though, I think the death's better done. And I think even though I knew the baby's going to bring her back.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's less chintzy here. And I like that how her death happened because she was literally using every ounce of power.
And I
stop
think
Galactus.
Yeah, that really it sounds like a little corny, but it's like the mother's strength.
Yeah.
It's like you are protecting your child with every single thing in you.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, I think people have heard stories where it's like, oh, a baby was, in danger and a mom picked up a car or whatever. This is that. Yeah. This is that times a superhero. Like, this is what's going on here.
I also want to point up the fact that, like, someone brought up a really good, like, online, I don't know where I saw this online, but someone really good, like, kind of, like, subtle storytelling bit where, while in the ship, after she gives birth, they ask, what are you going to name the, what's the baby's name going to be? And Sue looks at Johnny and goes, Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny does oh, shit. And if you saw, ironically, Fan Four Stick, Franklin is the name of their father.
Yes.
And what I kind of like about this is that, like, it's never stated, but but if you know the answer, it's nicely subtly done.
Yeah.
Because she looks at Johnny when she says Franklin. And it's like, oh, shit, that's your dad. Who she brings up at the end, but doesn't even say, it's not overstated about the Franklin name. But that's where the name Franklin comes from, is that's their dad's name.
Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Yeah.
And it's done in a really nice, subtle, quiet way in the moment of all this crazy Silver Surfers chasing them in the space stuff,
But yeah, they get Galactus through the teleporter with the help of the Silver Surfer.
Right.
Where she finally has a moment of realizing people are worth saving. And this is something that she can do to help.
Yeah.
It's really, it's, I guess because it has to be the Surfer. It has to be, they're like so connected that she pushes him through and then he's disappeared. But, and then I really wonder how far they're going to go with Franklin.
Right.
I mean, I don't think we always talk about this, but because it's a Marvel thing and we're nerds.
Right.
I'm just like, how far are we going to go with this Franklin thing? Like, this is really crazy that they did it.
I feel like, because Franklin in the comics was always this weird demigod child.
Yeah, super, he had all the powers or whatever. Like, it was really, yeah.
So I will say this, in the comics, there was a period where a big event happened with the superheroes. They had a big threat, and they had to all enter some sort of energy thing to destroy the big threat. And that led to a reboot comic called Heroes Reborn, where this was in the 90s, so this is actually pre-Ultimates, but it's essentially a year where the characters are going to be restarted from the beginning once again, but this time the creators of the comics were the guys of Image Comics fame.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, the guys who left Marvel to start Image Comics. That's not important. What's important, though, is that the reveal after the end of that is that it was Franklin who created the Pocket Universe.
Mm-hmm.
That might be what they're going at.
That's interesting. Yeah, definitely.
And
then
because you know what, I kept saying, and you probably watched it already, right? I kept saying Doom's not a main character.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't say he didn't show up.
Got that little cameo.
Got that Marvel MCU cameo.
Well, we don't even see. It was probably not Robert Downey Jr. on set,
But we didn't see the face. We saw the mask.
but it's definitely the mask and the green cloak.
yeah. It's the most obvious reveal, but even I was like, oh, he's here. You know?
Well, I didn't know if they were going to do a Doom reveal. I thought it was going to be because I remember with Franklin, wasn't there some like time travel hijinks? I thought maybe they were going to show an adult him visiting him as a child or something.
Yeah, but we don't really. It was one of those. There was an adult Franklin that popped for a minute in the 90s, but it kind of sucked. So So he went back to being. We moved him away, and he's back to being a child for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Doom. I mean, they do show that Latveria is a country.
Yes.
At the Future Foundation,
like that
but we never see the delegate.
Yeah. I thought that was cool.
So I don't know. I mean, they do a little time jump so that the baby's not a baby. He's like a 4, 5, 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And just Doom is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe Doom would be interested because he's so powerful, the baby.
Yeah.
But it's very,
especially
very teaser, very comic book teaser,
very
in
Marvel.
the most classic way.
Yeah. It's to wrap it up. I will say, if I had any concerns, but if there's somebody, the two people I needed to be convinced to a weird degree was ironically Joseph and Pedro, because I like both, but I didn't really say yes, those guys. But I also knew they're both good, specifically Pedro. I wasn't worried about Pedro delivering a good performance.
Yeah.
He gave me a good performance. But I was blown away by Vanessa. I was blown away by Joseph. And yes, Eben was everything I wanted him to be. And outside of what I've kind of said about the beginning, 4 times a charm.
I think out of really so many things that we've covered in our 100 episodes, like this movie, The Fantastic Four, had the biggest risk of being nothing new.
Wait. Say that again. Please rate and review Nothing New, a Remake podcast on your podcast app.
You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NothingNewPod.
You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/nothingnnew.
Nothing New, a Remake podcast, is part of the Benview Network.